think it was a Honda, a 99 that we drive and play Nirvana. It never started right away, it didn't wanna let me get too far from here. I was still too young to realize that these summertime drives, they don't last your whole lifetime. I think it was a Honda, I run another light to get through the night. Scared as shit, but I know that I'm alright. We were 17, pure like kerosene. You protected me, you were my sunscreen. You protected me, you were my sunscreen. I'm running out of karma. I don't think that I'll make it any longer. But with you by my side, I feel stronger than I've ever been before.
All right, hello. It's been a minute.
Been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not familiar, I'm Kier, the Secretary and Content Coordinator over at Esports at UCF, and here with me I have...
Mr. President, my name is Sam. I'm the president of Esports at UCF.
Yeah.
We're going to be going into some end of season updates for you guys. So if you guys want to see how our teams did this semester, you're in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. Our teams did a lot of great stuff over the semester. Really got a lot of good stuff over the semester. A lot of traveling, and there's gonna be a lot more traveling happening over in in the spring semester. So we're going to be looking forward to that. But we're just going to be going over a few of the leagues that we participated in, primarily talking about like some of the big hitters like NACE and NECC. We're going to be spending a lot of time talking about those, but we're going to go title by title, just going over the results, who they went up against, that kind of stuff. And we'll also be interacting with both the YouTube and Twitch chat. Hopefully YouTube's live. Let me double check to see if we are. But
I think we're live on YouTube. I don't see Twitch right now though.
oh, you don't see Twitch?
No.
Oh, I understand why. I'm streaming to Twitch on the wrong account. No worries, though. No worries. I'll get that fixed up in a second. But yeah, if we're on YouTube, hey YouTube, you guys get to see us a little early while I fix this small minor issue.
Exclusive.
Yeah. But yeah, we haven't streamed a lot to the YouTube recently, but we wanted to try a little bit of multi-streaming because, everyone deserves to see it, and it also makes the bot a little easier to save when it's already on YouTube. So, yeah, let me find that real quick. Get us ready to go before we start blabbing our mouths off. And hopefully I didn't put a delay for anything. I don't think I did. Yeah,
All
no,
good.
we're good. We're good. Let me double check. Oh, we're live. We're here. Hello.
We're here. Hello, everyone.
Again, for anyone on Twitch, we're going to be doing a little bit of end of semester recap, just going over everything we did, everything our teams did. We're going to go title by title, and with enough further ado, we'll get right into it. Would you like to introduce our first team, Sam?
I'll introduce them, and then you can go in the details.
Okay.
All
Sounds good.
right. We're gonna start with Call of Duty. We first introduced Call of Duty with our first ever. I don't know if it's the first ever, but like 3 teams for one title. We have our Knights Gold team, our Knights Black team, and our Knights White team. We had a lot of talent this year in tryouts, so we decided why not make 3 rosters. So you can go ahead into their updates.
Oh yeah, the COD team is the first one of this semester where we're going to be reintroducing the 3-team system. We're just going to see how it works. Like Sam was saying, we had 3 different teams, so it's a little bit more to go over. But if you're not familiar, unfortunately, I forgot the name of the company that fell through. eFuse. eFuse used to hold college COD for a little bit, so they had a college COD thing going, but unfortunately that fell apart this semester, so they lost the league that they could have participated in, but it's all right. They still had NACE that they could have participated in, so most of these results will be going over their run in NACE. And I'm going to start off with Knights Gold. Just going over specifically like the teams that were in their conference. You had Mars Hill University, Newberry College COD, Ball State Varsity, Ontario Tech, Ohio University, Dakota State, and University of Windsor. Those were all the teams that were in their group during the 6-week or 7-week groups. Yeah, I'm forgetting the word. What's the word for the period before playoffs? You know, Sam? I'm completely blanking.
I can't think of it either.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. Let's just go with the group stage. Basically, they had a group that this is the group that they participated in.
Play-ins, maybe? I don't know.
Play-ins. I think play-ins is a good word, actually. I'm going to be using that for the rest of the night. Play-ins, and then you have the playoffs. But yeah, I guess it should be play-outs. But yeah, they had a record of 5 wins and 2 losses. Honestly, a really good record, all things considered, especially for our team. They did an amazing job playing out their matches. I know the first match they went up against, they actually took the loss immediately, unfortunately. But, as you see in the rest of the record, they kind of just picked up and started, smacking teams left and right. And they managed to make playoffs with that record. I'll pull it up right now so that you guys get a little bit of a visual. But yeah, they did a really good job in their group stage, allowing them to get into playoffs and everything, and that's really good for them because you don't have to fight as much for playoffs. Oh wow, I actually didn't realize this, but apparently NACE changed their layout a little bit. It looks different. They did that
The
today
NSL
'cause
website?
yeah, the league spot, or I guess league spot did the change. I'll share my screen real quick so you can see the same thing I'm seeing, Sam. But
Okay.
yeah, so one place you can check that out is nsl.leaguespot.gg for everything related to Star League. You can check everything there. I'm gonna be swapping it over so you guys can see as well. But yeah, so here you'll see that their first match up against Marseille's Lions was a little bit of a 0-3. Really unfortunate. Their first two losses were up against Marseille's and Newberry College COD. That was a little unfortunate. It wasn't the best way to start off the season, but after looking at this, it was just straight W's for the rest of it. They just went really well against Ontario Tech, Ball State, Dakota State, and the Bobcats, and Windsor as well. They all did really well. 3-1s, 3-1, 3-0, 3-1, and then forfeit for Windsor. But still, I'm sure they would have had like an amazing record regardless. Unfortunately, though, from what I heard, over from the title manager Eric Easy, our previous general manager, they FF'd the match in playoffs just because of personal reasons. I think also scheduling reasons, which is a little unfortunate. But you do what you have to do. They still had an amazing run, all things considered, and we're gonna be going back and looking at the other COD teams, and you guys will be incredibly impressed by what they managed to put up. So, do you want to read that out,
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah. Also, just to add, like I remember at least for their first loss, if I remember correctly, it was one of their first times using our new esports facility, the dungeon. So there might have been some first usage jitters. I remember them telling me that it was a hard matchup to begin with too. So
Yeah.
I can't count them out with that. But I mean, as you can see, I mean, almost flawless record after that. So that's very impressive by them. But yeah, that's our gold team. Our black team was participating in the Open Plus East 3A conference. That has the Fisher Baby Falcons, the Chadron State College CSC COD Black team, and then the West Virginia University WVU Potomac State College COD team. They got a lengthy name.
WPU. Yeah, lengthy name.
Yeah. But yeah, that seemed like it went pretty well for them. Looks like
No, more than
if
well.
I'm reading it correctly, the undefeated season. So really can't complain with that.
Yeah, they swept even against something like Fisher. I know this is Fisher's like tertiary team or for COD or something like that, but like even against Fisher pays like for some of their players, and they have some formidable people over there.
They have like thousands of teams in like each title, so it's
Oh my
they got a lot of
gosh.
talent over there.
Yeah, finding the information for that was actually just a little insane because some games that show up is like their Valorant or something. I can't tell who their main team is because there's eight. Like there's 8 teams sometimes. Just running around. They just have like so many Valorant people, and not even just Valorant. Every game they have so many people who are just like cracked at the game going to school. So it's actually
For
crazy.
sure. Also, I don't think I was reading that right. There's more teams that I didn't read out. There's also Wayne State College, St. Ambrose, Call of Duty Academy team, University of Houston, Gators, and then the playoffs. They ended up making up to the playoffs where they also faced off against our own UCF white team, which is for the grand finals. A little spoiler, but
Yeah.
they were part of that playoff, along with the Texas A&M white and South Arkansas University's academy team. But yeah, they did a really good job, as you can see. I mean, pretty much undefeated throughout their whole entire season. I don't think they dropped a. Doesn't even look like they dropped a map, did they? Or just completely flawless.
Wait, let's see. Wait, I'm double checking now. I think I have it
Let me
up.
see.
Yeah, they did not lose
Yeah.
a single map this
Yeah.
entire
Completely
season.
flawless.
That's actually crazy. Big shout outs to that because like you could say one thing or another about the Open Plus if you're not familiar with Open Premier, Plus, and Mace. Basically, for the Open Division anyone can participate in. You have the Open Premier, which you got to send in your best of your best, the best of your teams. I guess you would say, and then everyone can only put in one team. In the Open Plus, you can put whatever team you want, whatever skill bracket or whatever. But so normally there isn't as much prizing or whatever going into Open Plus, but like even then going through absolutely undefeated in like a flurry of different people is actually insane, regardless of what you think about Open Plus, even if it's not the Premier League per se. It's actually just insane what they were able to
Yeah,
do.
they did really good.
Mm.
I mean, all the Call of Duty teams this year did really well in their leagues. Just to
Mm-hmm.
give a shout out to the players, I want to like highlight who's on each team. Um, we didn't go over the main team, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's the team has Monty, AP, Chris on God, and Easy Eric. They're our main four for our main roster, and then
Mm-hmm.
the black team, the academy team, they have Ziggy, JT Nugent, JT Nugent, sorry, Shanker, Smoke,
Yeah.
and Shadow the Lunatic. His in-game name is Kitty Queen Uwu, but I'm not sure if that's what he wants to be
that's
called.
that's funny.
um, yeah, and then moving on to the tertiary team, the Knights White
Mhm.
team. Their conference included Texas A&M, TAMU White, South Arcot Academy, Con I, the Condors Black.
Mhm.
I don't want to butcher that name.
Yeah.
Michigan Tech Club team, Butler Cod Academy, Kaiser University, WVU. They were in the same conference for the playoffs as well, of course, as Knights Black. So it was the Fisher Baby Falcons, WVU, and then of course Knights Black, who they unfortunately lost to in the grand
Yeah.
finals. So it was some UCF on UCF violence there. Um, but
Yeah.
our Knights White team there,
Mhm.
that's Shiesty, or Q Shiesty, Ice Skirt, Shine Season, Striker, and Gator as a sub.
Mhm.
So yeah, they all did amazing. Call of Duty had a really good year this year. Eric
Yeah.
knew what he was doing, putting 3 teams on, and they did really well. I mean, if we look at it, can you pull up their record?
Three
Is that it?
winners. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it seems
this,
like
this
did
is
they win everything except against the other team? I think.
oh, they also had like they did not drop a map. Oh wait, they lost one game, but
I think
they
that looks like it was a
forfeited it.
forfeit
It
though.
was a
Yeah,
forfeit.
we don't
So
count
we
that.
don't count that. They also went like without losing a single map until playoffs against
Yeah,
UCF. So
yeah,
that's actually a crazy record for both of them. COD on top right now, and like you said, Eric was definitely on something. He was thinking ahead, knowing that he fielding 3 teams who can like definitely hold all their weight, and especially at least from what I heard. I don't know if I have a 100% confirmation on this, but some people are going to be graduating, so we're going to have a lot of prospective talent moving up into the A team,
mhm,
or to the gold team. So it's really good, especially having that foundation of like new people coming up. It also gives more room in the spring for when we do hold tryouts. If there is COD tryouts, I don't remember exactly, but when that does happen, that allows a lot more people to kind of get their feet wet in the game, and start playing at that level, so that eventually they could get to the gold team as well.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, that's it for our Call of Duty
Mm-hmm.
season. Like we said, they did absolutely incredible. All our teams did really good. Um, but moving on here, if you want to introduce our next team that we're going to be introducing here.
Okay, Counter Strike. We have Counter Strike here. I'm gonna change the background a little bit just because it's a little hard to
It's
read, but we have
hard to
Counter
see.
Strike here. Big thing about Counter Strike is that they all played very well. They were really super passionate about the game going into it, especially with our new dungeon facility. As you see, we have a little bit of a background for it. We can't be in there right now, unfortunately. Pretty sure the student union's closed. Yeah, it's definitely closed right now, so we can't be in there. But we can pretend like we're in there. Any other day we would have been in there, but yeah, they're probably the number one team that grinds in there like the most out of every
For sure,
team.
they're always in there,
Yeah, shout out to Chris.
especially Chris.
Yeah,
Especially
Chris,
Chris.
Chris the
Uh,
IBI, or no one. We'll talk about like the rosters in a second, but he's been in there grinding every single day. I'm always there to open the door for him most of the time, and that board every day they draw a new different map. They're always like,
sure,
stratting
for
things
sure.
out. They were super prepared for this season. And they're kind of in a similar situation to COD. How they didn't have Face It going into Face It Collegiate going into the semester. I don't know if it's coming back in the spring semester, but they didn't have Face It Collegiate going on. So the main thing that they participated in was NACE, but with CS2 kind of brand new game technically brand new game. Uh, Coming around, kind of halfway into the season, they had to adapt to a lot of things on the fly. I remember like day of, like the update had come out like a day before they were supposed to play a match and it got postponed and everything. But NECC, which is one of the other collegiate leagues we'll talk about soon, they held off on doing a fall semester thing, knowing that CS2 would come out. So they couldn't do like a full league, so they decided to do an open thing, which is what they participated in. And I will not spoil for when we get to that point where they placed, but they did an amazing job, especially in an open tournament where there are other UCF students that aren't a part of esports at UCF, but we saw them competing in there as well. So, anyone could have participated in that tournament. So, getting that far in that tournament is really impressive. But I'll let Sam talk about the rosters.
The Goofy Goobers. So our main team comprised of Poss, like you said, Chris as well, the dungeon grinder. For the longest time, I didn't know his username meant no one. I always read it like Noinks. It's written N-O. It's written N-O-1-N-X. So I was like, Noinks? What does that mean? But I was like talking to him one day. I'm like, how do you pronounce your name? He's like, no one. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I found that out. I was like, no way.
Yeah. And of course, our goat 2 dog, my boy Austin. We have Evie and then T Berry. This team seems to be compromised of, we have like 3 first-year students and then two seniors, 2 fourth-year students. So a mix of like new blood and old blood. So I guess that's why the team kind of worked out so well, and it just shows how like perspective, how bright the future is for CS:GO or CS2, sorry, at UCF. So I'm excited to see how they do next year. We're going into their details of how their season went. Like you said, they were in the Open Premier East 5 conference. That includes Ohio State, Scarlet, Rochester Institute of Technology, White, North Carolina State University, Wolfpack, Pennsylvania State University, Blue, Vespa, University of Alabama, Crimson, Benedictine University, and yeah, I think that's it. So they did make it to playoffs against teams. I'm trying to read. I can't read the. Kira made me a little cheat sheet, so I'm trying to read off of it. But
I think you can zoom in.
I'm not sure how it's structured.
On text. So a quick overview. I'm not gonna leak the cheat sheet, but basically it just goes by title, league.
It says they're in the playoffs, right? And the 2 teams on there are the teams that are in the playoffs
that they went up against. Yeah.
Oh, that's who they versed. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they versed University of Texas Austin, LG. The team name is Matthew McConaughey Fan Club. Am I reading that right?
Yeah,
I like that.
They have a funny naming system over at UTA. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And then Syracuse University Orange. So those are the teams they went up against. Do you have their placement? What like the actual placement was?
Oh yeah, let me pull that up real quick. So let me get to it real quick. But yeah, I just wanted to say that one thing that they talked about is that throughout this, they only went down to Ohio State in the group stage.
I understand this cheat sheet now. I'm sorry. I like just clicked. I thought you like split it up in the 2 sections where like half the teams are on one, half teams are on other. But like I see there's like different information on both now. This makes sense. Okay, I can do it by myself now. We're chilling. But yeah, it seems like they went 3-0 with a 2nd place finish in the or is that no? It's NECC. Sorry, spoilers. Yeah. They went 6-1 in the main season in NACE and Open Premier. They qualified through playoffs through the LCQ, and then the playoffs they finished round of 8. So pretty good. Yeah. I understand this cheat sheet now. And they also, like Kier said, they're also in NECC. In NECC, the teams that are in that one for Phase 1 of NECC, they played against University of Maine Farmington, Thomas College, and University of Nebraska. And within that, it seems that they went. Where is this? Oh, did I close it? I closed it, Kier. I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta reopen it now.
Oh yeah, I could riff a little bit on this, but yeah.
Yeah, go riff. Do some yapping.
Yeah. So going back to the NACE thing real quick, I wanted to touch on that a little bit because they talked to me a little bit about that. They were telling me that unfortunately they went 6 wins and 1 loss at the very end of the season, and I don't know if you were following Chris's Twitter. but he was doing a little thing where he's like, you were this far ahead into
Yeah.
the undefeated season of UCF. And unfortunately, at the very end, they go down to Ohio State on stream, on the NACE stream. That was really unfortunate, but they played incredibly well throughout the entire season. They were even telling me it was a close nail biter that we also had streamed on this channel, but when they went up against I'm pretty sure it was North Carolina State. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, when they went up against North Carolina State, they were telling me that they were really nervous about that match. That's definitely like easily the hardest like demon in that bracket or in the groups, and they actually managed to pull out like 2-1 against them. There were some close matches here, but like there were some pretty convincing 2-0s as well. So they did a really amazing job. I know their favorite map I could say is like Vertigo because I saw them play it a lot. But I think that was their comfort map. So yeah, all in all, though, like they played an amazing season. Unfortunately, they didn't get too far into playoffs. But honestly, like with a season like that, how can you be upset? And going into NECC, you can see how well they did. Going into that, phase one, for reference, phase one is a Swiss round 3, so you play 3 other people. You get seeded based off of that. If you at least win 3 games, if you win all 3 games, you make it to the playoffs bracket. And in the playoffs bracket, they went up against Bison Green, Ashland Esports, and Michigan Maze. They got taken out in grand finals by Michigan Maze. That was a really tough game to watch, but I know like the entire match they were having a lot of lag and everything, so they would have put up a little bit more of a fight had that not been the situation. I remember I stayed up really late trying to get that stream going just because they had so many server issues, but that was really unfortunate on their end. But honestly, second place out of I think it was around like a 32-64 team tournament. It's really impressive. They did an amazing job. The Knights Gold for CS. They absolutely performed their heads off, and they did extremely well in the Open Premiere. But I want to pivot over to Knights Academy.
In the chat too. I got him to join up.
Oh, let's go! Hey, Tiguri, how's it going?
Star player.
Star player.
Yeah, there were tech issues on both sides. I remember hearing about it. I remember I was like out at the time, but I was like hearing Kier complain about the tech issues. I felt really bad. But still a really good end to the season, regardless. But yeah, continue with like NECC. Reading the cheat sheet again. There's you guys went CS2. The main team went 3-0 in phase 1, and then phase 2 for the playoffs. They finished in second place. So that is very good finish. Can't complain with that at all.
But if we want to talk about a crazy season, Knights Academy. The Knights Black. Sorry.
Knights Black. Yeah, you can go ahead and get into that.
No, I'll give you over the mic now that you figured out the cheat sheet a little bit. I also have to.
Let me see if I can
named them incorrectly. But I'll pull it up here on the screen real quick, just so everyone else could follow along. Knights Black, just to preface a little bit, they went on a tear. There's no better way to say it. They just absolutely dominated. Looking at these first 4 matches of the season, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2 versus NYU, University of Massachusetts, Carnegie Mellon University, and FAU. FAU is a Florida school, Florida Atlantic University. So, we're even dominating in the Florida scene when it comes to that. I think FAU, is that their main team? I have to double check.
Seems like it.
Yeah, it was.
We'll say it is.
So, yeah, if we ever get FAU into FCC, I'm looking forward to that battle.
For sure, they could try and get their get back, but yeah, and their conference, like you said, FAU's in there. That's their main team. University of Massachusetts Amherst, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, that's also their main team. Iona University, Carnegie Mellon University Tartans. That's the B team. NYU CSGO, Violet OP is their name. That's their B team. University of Buffalo Blue, Blue Gold CSGO. That's a main team as well. So that's their conference. Let's see how they did. They went 7-0, undefeated, as you guys can see.
Undefeated, actually crazy.
Went on a tear. They made playoffs as well, and they placed first place in the grand finals of
First place. Let's go.
nice. We love to see it. I think they're one of our four or five championship teams this year. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 or 5. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll say I think it's 4. And then like the main team, they also played in NECC. In the NECC division, they had. Let's see. Am I looking at the right one? I am.
Yeah.
I am? Wait. Yeah. In Open Phase 1, they played against Clark University.
I think that's
Clark
Jins.
University, yeah. Jins. It's DJINNS.
Yeah.
Jins.
Yeah.
And Bison Green. So that's how they played in the Open Phase 1. And they went 2-1 and did not make Phase 2, which is all right because they had an amazing season in NACE. So that's all I really meant.
I actually have some news about that one. I was talking to Jeevnesh about that one. He's the title manager for the CS teams, and he's also captain of the Knights Black team. They beat the 2 teams that they went up against, which was Bison Green and Clark University. But the unfortunate thing is, due to scheduling issues, they had to forfeit their 3rd match, which did not let them go in because they were really excited to go up against a gold team.
It's whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like they kind of dominated, so they didn't really need it, but they were a little sad about it. But yeah, they absolutely did amazing. And another thing that I have here is some questions. We did a little written interview with some of our title managers. This is one of the first title managers that reached back out after everything. How about this, Sam? I'll give you the questions, and
I'll answer like I'm Jeev.
I'll answer.
Jeev for today.
I'll be Jeev. You be
Okay, I'll be the interviewer.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I'll drop you the questions, and I'll read over his thing real quick.
Okay, little live action role play. I like.
Yeah.
All right. So, what events did your team participate in this semester, right. Mr. Jeev?
Oh, I'm downloading the PDF. He sent it to me in PDF, so I have to download it. I didn't download these beforehand. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Jeev said both the Gold and Black team participated in the NACE Star League Open Premier and Open Plus divisions, along with NECC Fall Open Phase 1 and 2. The Black team, at the time of writing, was still in their circuit. And they had their next semi games on December 1st. So yeah, that's around when everything was wrapping up, December 1st.
All right, how well did your teams perform this season?
G responded, the Gold team made it as far as the quarterfinals in their playoff bracket, but lost in a 3rd map against Syracuse. He's very proud of them as they had to rebuild, and they did even better than their spring season. G said they know what to improve on and have full confidence that they will. I'm immensely proud of the Black team, and I believe we will win our bracket with ease. They did. They kind of went through it pretty quickly.
They definitely did.
Yeah. They have shown dominance over every team in their bracket while being flawless in the group stages, and indeed they were. They were flawless, and I think they also did not drop a map, just like the 2 COD teams. So a lot of our tertiary or secondary and tertiary teams are doing really well. A lot of them really did like show up and show that they can definitely keep up with the main team a lot of the time. So next question.
Did the performances of your teams meet the standards you placed for yourselves earlier in the season?
He responded, for the Black team, they surpassed expectations beyond belief. I'm so proud of them. For the Gold team, I'd say both as well. We are definitely better off now compared to the last season, but our expectations are so high, and sometimes we don't feel as though we reach them. However, the Gold team did great, and with more events coming the next semester, I know we will dominate. And I definitely want to add on to that and say, like, they definitely did. I know they lost a lot of veteran talent last semester, one of them being Penny CS, very iconic UCF player, and I'm pretty sure if you keep up with him on Twitter, he recently won an ESCA
try to pull it up.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I can pull it up.
He's part of Rebel, I think their team name is, and yeah, they won their ESCA, the ESCA main winners, and I don't know, I'm really proud of him, man. He's been working so hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I met him pretty early on when I joined the club, and he was always a nice guy to me, and incredible player as well. So
absolutely.
Love to see it.
Yeah. I can't pull it up because I don't have Twitter logged in here, so but it's fine because everything's on Twitter. Twitter now you can't access anything. unless you have like an account signed in. So I'm not gonna sign in on stream, but we can continue with the interview. But yeah, Penny CS, recent graduate. They lost him, but he's off doing amazing things. But they're still doing the CS2 team here is doing amazing even then. So he did a really good job, especially as the IGL. Raising up some of the people who are
Mhm.
now IGLing on both the main
For
and
sure.
academy team.
What's next to see? What was a highlight aspect of the season for all of the teams you manage? This can be a crazy fun event, a crazy upset, or an outstanding individual performance.
Yeah, G said he had two favorite moments. Both were in the group stages. For the gold team, there was a group stage match that was already a good matchup and would determine if they would keep their flawless streak. I believe it was a map 3, and it was a match point for the other team, and they were on a bad bye. Dylan, aka Poss, was in a 1v1 and won, causing overtime and then winning in overtime. I remember watching that match on stream. I'm pretty sure you could check the stream VOD playlist if you want to check it out, but that was actually an insane win, and it kept them, their flawless status until Ohio State. Um, but yeah, and then for the black team, they had a game on Halloween weekend. They had to play on their buddy setup, or Jeep specifically had to play on his buddy setup. He had so many tech issues. It was the most important match for them, and they still managed to win 2-0. So that was like an awesome moment. So they're dominating even on like a toaster. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
they're doing amazing. Yeah. Um,
What are your expectations going the next semester?
uh, G's done very high. They want to keep pushing the ceilings and getting better. They already are doing better than they expected initially, so they know like with more experience, they're gonna be able to completely like wreck through everything that any team that they go through.
Awesome. Who's a standout player that genuinely impressed you this season?
G said from the gold team, our new guys Dylan Poss and Drew Teebury. Shout out if you guys are still in here. They really
Very.
impressed. Yeah, G likes to personally say that they were really impressed with you. He said they are quick learners, they're dedicated, and have great spirit. G was worried that Zach Penny CS left that there would be a hole after he left when he graduated, and it would not be covered by the other teammates. But luckily, our new freshman, Drew, Dylan, and everyone else who joined in has done an amazing job at like making sure that hole doesn't exist and putting it all together. And then the black team is just a completely new squad of people who are just showing immense improvement and doing great signs already. Thiago is a great opper and has changed the course of the game with his individual plays many times. Is such a great teammate to have. Andy, Az, and Joe Slyzester Jr. were also great additions to the team. They are crazy entries, really quick on their feet, insane aimers, and super resilient. We could be down 12-0, and they would never give up. That's what I love about them. Sean Duckman, is an amazing name, by the way, is very smart and a great lurker, always seeing the blind spots within the enemy and capitalizing it. And he can get us out of trouble quickly. I never need to worry anything about him. Big shout out to Ben, Apathetic Zek, who is our first sub. He's always shown up and shown out. He's never backed out of a challenge. He's ready for anything. Love that out of him. So lots of amazing shout outs. I love to see that support. I love
To
seeing
love.
title managers, being there for each other. So yeah.
100%. And last question, who do you think is going to grow as a player very quickly?
Okay, going back to Ben, he said Ben will show the most improvement. Everyone else will gradually improve as they get more play. From August to now, I already see exponential improvement from both teams. I think come springtime we will do so much more damage in many more tournaments. With Faith at Collegiate coming up as well, I'm very excited to see how we fare against more difficult competition. So yeah, Faith at Collegiate I guess is a spring event. So we're gonna be seeing more of that, and they're gonna have more to compete in, especially with NECC also coming back and having a full league in the spring. So they're gonna
For
be
sure.
3 leagues. Let's see if they keep it up.
Hmm. Awesome. That's all we have for CS:GO or CS2. Sorry, I got to get used to the new name. Um,
Yeah.
Up next, we have one of our newer titles, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Mm.
They played in the They played in Ace, of course. And I'll go off. Let me read the roster off real quick. Forgot we're doing that. There's Triggs. There's Dark Force. There's Knave. There's Fanica and Spoon. Fanica, he's been learning some Valorant. Just a quick little tip. He's been learning some Valorant. I was DMing him the other week. He said he doesn't have like a computer at home to play on, so he comes into the dungeon pretty frequently, whether when he's done with like practicing, and he'll just start grinding Valorant. It's been really fun watching him play and learn the game. I see Kira's cycling through the logos trying to find the
Yeah,
Smash one.
I
Did you
think
forget it?
it wasn't in the assets folder already, even though I've
No.
streamed it before. Me being unprepared, but I should have it
And,
somewhere on my computer because
okay. Just imagine the Smash Brothers logo up there, and I'll continue yapping.
yeah.
But yeah, they played in the Open Premier East 4 conference. Some really good teams in that one. Notably Winthrop University, USF Smash Gold, FAU Owls Red, Stony Brook Blue, University of South Carolina, uh, USCB team. Is that part of their name? I don't know. University of North Carolina, Greensboro, and Ringling Smash JV, another interesting name.
That's also a Florida
and
team.
is it
Florida team. Yeah, Ringling's in
Ringling
Florida, I'm
Smash?
pretty sure. I think it's in Sarasota. I don't remember
Oh,
though.
interesting. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. But yeah, the whole season they went 5-2. They made LCQ and made it to playoffs through that, and then finished in the Open Premier playoffs with a round of 16 finish. Pretty impressive for sure, especially for such a new roster. I don't believe any of them, or maybe less than half of them have played with us before. And then in the Open Premier playoffs, they played against San Jose State University. And like I said, they came in a round of 16 finish. It was pretty good. Not bad at all. And that's the only league they participated in. There's not a lot of Smash leagues out there, at least that are strictly collegiate. I know they've been looking for some like non-collegiate events to go to, so
Yeah.
we're gonna hopefully help them through that. Let them go to some more events, some more lands, get some more experience.
Yeah. I didn't
have
specify
anything-
it there, but they actually did go to a pretty big, I'd say like a B-sized event. This is not a collegiate event, but a decent amount of the players went and competed on their own time. But if you're familiar with the Smash scene, they had Cirque. Cirque is it was hosted at Boardwalk Bowl. If you're familiar with the area, the UCF area, you know the Boardwalk Bowl. It's right there in Colonial. They do Smash tournaments every Thursday, and they decided to the ante, get a bunch of like high profile players and everything, and make it like a B-sized event according to like the Smash metrics or whatever. I don't know the exact things for what qualifies as a major or not, but I was told by multiple people it was a pretty big event. And they were over there at Cirque the same weekend as CEO Otaku, and a lot of them had some pretty good finishes. Honestly, I can't pull them up right now, but out of like 100, I think it was 100 people, like a lot of them had like top 32 finishes or like top 60 60s finishes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's at least like winning 2 or 3 games before going down. So at least they're not O2ers. They're not O2ers. They're really well. They're
Exactly.
really well
Beat the
versed.
OT allegations.
Yeah, you gotta beat the O2er allegations. But yeah, they played honestly really well the entire season. They were. I remember sitting there in the dungeon. They're like, "Okay, let's get this match over with, so we can go to Boardwalk because it was on the same day." And they'd actually get it done in time to run over to Boardwalk, and it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, but definitely the one that gave them the most trouble was let me see here. It was this is not in alphabetical order, but it's all good. Let me throw it back up so you guys get a visual. Their biggest trouble was Winthrop. Winthrop has oh wait, am I pointing the right? An insane amount of
Top's
talent.
always just like a hard
Yeah.
team in almost any game. They just have a good program
Yeah.
there. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I know even in Valorant they have like at least like a top 5 team, and they've been really good. I know from last year as well. So I'd imagine the same in Smash. I don't know much about the Smash scene. I know very little actually. So
Yeah,
I'm sure you can go more in depth about how good their players are.
I think I don't know too much about the Smash teams as well. But we should have got Armand on here. If you don't know, Armand's our resident.
Armand or Brady, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
Armand
our
or
resident like fighting game.
Yeah, fighting game
knowers.
Smashers people. They can. I'm sure he could like talk your ear off here. Unfortunately, he's not here with us. Hopefully he's in the chat. Hi Armand, if you are. But yeah, I'd say Lima and Peanut are definitely the 2 biggest names on here. Unless I'm not familiar, but all these players, from what I heard, are like top in their state from where they come from. And Lima, I'm pretty sure was like one of the top players in in Smash 4, especially as a young talent. So like that's very like obviously Smash 4 was a long time from ago, but like that was still incredibly impressive, especially as for a run for them. So
For sure.
uh,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
so
just an incredible season from Smash, and I hope them. I think our main goal with them is just to help them get to more events next semester.
yeah,
Um, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
But next up, our Carball or Rocket League, one of my favorite
Carball.
games. One of my favorite games. I do play it in my spare time.
Mhm.
Um, oh, Armand's a TM now. I didn't know that. What is he? What is he? Is he a
Yes.
TM for what? COD?
Oh, is
Is that
he
what he
really
is?
the Convo? That's crazy.
That'd be cool. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Either way, on to Rocket League. Um, our main team. I think they both had really good seasons in NACE.
Mm,
And then they also play in CRL as well. The main team going undefeated, 7-0.
mm,
In their conference, they played in the Open Premier East 3 conference, included FAU Owls. That's another Florida team. We've mentioned them before.
mm,
They're from my hometown, or not my hometown, but like near my hometown, Boca Raton.
mm.
University of Alabama, McGill University, Western University Rocket League Purple, Faulkner University Rocket League, Indiana University, Purdue University, and Bowling Green State University Rocket League
Bowling
Varsity.
Green. What an amazing
Bowling
name.
Green, that's a good name. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, undefeated in their main season. I believe they qualify. Of course, I mean they did make playoffs, obviously by going undefeated, and they finished a round of 16 in the Open Premier playoffs. And then CRL, there's two qualifiers for
Yeah.
CRL. They went
It's an
4-2 in
East
the
and West,
first
right?
one. What was that?
There's an East and West for each one, right?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so.
I'm gonna be
Um,
real with you guys. It's been wait, no, it's these are in progress. I the only thing I know, listen, it's been months since I followed this bracket. This bracket is massive. That's all I have to say.
yeah,
I
there's
promise
a
you,
lot in CRL.
I've been keeping it up with it, but we could try and follow the thing with. You're gonna have to help me here, Sam. So we start at E,
Okay,
right?
this is qualifiers 1,
Hmm. Yeah,
so it should be in the East one.
yeah.
And it says
So
they finished fourth in Pool 7.
hmm yeah,
So
they went up
they
against
went four
Eagle
and two,
Esports.
pretty good. Eagle
Yeah.
Esports, yeah.
I'm trying to keep up because they went to losers here.
Yeah, the bracket's massive, bro. It's really
it,
hard to keep up. I don't even
was
need
it
to do
was
that. We'll get
genuinely
lost.
it was genuinely yeah, it was massive.
We'll be here
But
all night trying to
yeah.
navigate this bracket. But yeah, they fourth place in Pool 7. It's pretty good. That does not
Mhm,
qualify them though. So they tried again in qualifier 2, went
mhm,
4-2 again, which placed them 33rd out of 278, which is pretty
mhm.
good. I mean,
Which is like top
278
four in the
participants.
bracket or in
Yeah,
their like
nose is itchy.
whatever. The way they've split it up is that there were multiple brackets. If you thought that bracket was big, there's like three more of them, or
Hmm.
like eight more of them. A lot of schools wanted to get into CRL. CRL is Psyonix's like league system for college
Right.
students. So yeah, there were a lot of things. That's why it's a little confusing and everything. Um,
But yeah, on that team, I forgot to mention the players. We have
mhm,
Lyrics. He's been a part of UCF for a while now, I believe.
mhm,
Nano Poison and Surreal. That's the main three, and then we have Subs, Treasy, and Aggro. Um, and then onto our academy team. That is Reeves, Talbs, Surf Root Bowl, Sleepy, and Super.
mhm.
Sleepy and Super being the two subs. Um, they also had an amazing season in NACE. They played in Open Plus, going 6-1, only dropping one game. Um, and they qualified for playoffs, of course, in the Open Plus One Division playoffs and finished round of 8, which is very good. And then in CRL qualifiers 1, they went 4-2 as well, placing 5th in their pool. And then that didn't qualify them, so they did CRL qualifier 2, and they went 5-2, placing 25th out of 278. So a really good performance. I mean, really can't ask for more. I mean, it was a good season. I think next season, once everyone knows each other a little better, once they practice a little bit more,
Mhm.
the teams can be more cohesive and they'll have a better season than the last.
Yeah.
I do believe like Rock League has been a really big title for esports at UCF.
Mhm.
Winning CRL in the previous years. So yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um,
Also, another thing, um, CK was also one of the people who got back to me with interview. So we could go over it real quick. He had
all right,
shorter responses. Jivanish was a man of many words. CK is a man of fewer words. So it
that's
won't
all
be as
good.
long-winded, but it's the same question. So you could go ahead and
All right.
I'll go over
All right, CK. It's kind of like I'm talking to CK because your name's CKK too.
it. Yeah.
What events did your team participate in this semester?
The primary things they participated in were NAIS Open Premier and Open Plus, and CRL Open. They showed up to the qualifiers, and then the Opens they kind of slept on a little bit, but yeah.
All good. How well did your teams perform this season?
They said not the results that they wanted, so they have some pretty high standards for themselves. They definitely want to be able to get into the qualifiers for CRL and also and dominate NACE. But but 18 made top 16 NACE and went undefeated in league play. So they're still very happy about the accomplishments. Academy team did similarly well, especially in the CRL qualifiers. If you saw Academy did incredibly well for being an academy team. They did pretty well with that. So yeah. Oh,
Mm.
I forgot. I need to change it
Um,
off.
oh,
Where's the Rocket League
you
one?
gotta change it back to Rocket League.
Yeah.
Did the performances of your teams meet the standards you placed for yourselves earlier on in the season?
uh, we had very CK said we had very high standards. Definitely not. We wanted to make CRL and fell short. They definitely wanted to make that CRL goal. I think they've been in part of like some of the CRL competitions in the past. I'm pretty sure. Um,
Mm.
yeah, back in the day. So they have some pretty high standards to look back on, especially during the time of like Asphira, Luke, and Bambi. They definitely want to get back to that point where everyone's like knowing UCF's name, especially as a household name. So also a small shout out to Asphira, UCF boy.
Out the as
NRG Asphira
NRG,
now.
NRG. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah,
Representation.
yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, I saw a little mini documentary about him, and most of like the clips of him on land were all in our jerseys. So I was like, let's go,
Mm.
let's go.
Cool to see for sure.
Yeah.
What was a highlight aspect of this season for all of the teams you manage? Can be a fun event, crazy upset, or an outstanding individual
Mm.
performance.
Uh, DK said A team top 8 in summer series, and I think this is probably why they also felt super pressured about making a really good results. If you're not familiar, over the summer, they do some CCA opens as well over the summer, just kind of gauge stuff, get things going early on, and they made top 8. So a lot of schools were there. They made top 8. They were really excited about that. They made a very deep run. So they were. I think that's why some of the expectations were high for themselves going into this semester. But that was definitely a highlight for them over the summer, and they were really excited about that.
What are your expectations going into the spring semester?
We are going to strive to make CRL again. Period. That's
Period. That's a good response. I mean,
yeah.
that's good. Straight
Like
into the point. So we like to
he
hear.
is super straight to the point. The Rocket League team UCF wants to get back in CRL.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the skill for it. I've seen them play. I've casted like tons of their games because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Rocket League is a really fun and like easy game to cast.
Mm-hmm.
So I've casted a lot of their games from last semester, and I think a couple from this semester as well. Just watching them play, it's like when they're trying, like they're really good. But I know they like to mess around a little bit. I've seen a couple of games they start trolling for fun. Um, but I mean, what's
Yeah.
competition if we're not having fun? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Who is a standout player that genuinely impressed you this semester or this season? Sorry.
Let me. Oh, I accidentally clicked out. It looks like. So yeah, CK said everyone did extremely well. No real standout players, but he definitely thinks Surreal was the MVP for the semester. Definitely coming in clutch a lot of the time and just having consistent play.
Yeah, I remember he was the real goal scorer when I casted his games. I remember like every
Yeah.
time he's always the guy finishing the ball, getting the ball in the net.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no good way to say that.
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna grow quickly as a player?
CK says, I believe both Lyrics and Surreal have the potential to grow the quickest as they're both highly motivated to improve. So we're probably going to see those two definitely improving the most out of them. And, they're going to do really good. So, yeah.
Awesome, cool. that's it for Rocket League. Now we're on to my game.
His game
The
of
teams I
choice.
manage. My game of choice. We have Valorant now. You put the Valorant logo up.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll let you
yeah,
take it away because you will be able to color everything
yeah.
here. I'll be
I
for
can do
here for
everything.
ad-libs.
I'm not leaving anything out. Yeah. Valorant, one of our more popular rosters. We started the season with the roster. I can do it off the top of my head with this. We have at first we started with 6. We had Jason as our coach, and then star players of the previous gold team, Beniper and Rudy. And then we have the star players of our previous Knights Black team. We had Nightmare, Scotty, and Squirmer.
It's kind of
An
like a
incredible
mixture.
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we basically merged the 2 rosters, the best players on each roster, and made a kind of super roster. But yeah, they started the season off pretty well. In what is this? This is Nace. Okay, Nace. They started in Open Premier with University of Ottawa Garnet, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, University of Connecticut, University of Maryland Baltimore, University of Tennessee Knoxville, Pennsylvania State University Blue, James Madison University. That's it. That was a Nace.
They kind of, not to underplay anything, by the way, they kind of stomps a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, from what I've heard from, I think verbatim from them, they said it was pretty Mickey Mouse. Put it lightly for Nace.
Yeah.
They made it to playoffs. Of course, they played against FGC, another Florida team. Esports at University of California Davis Gold. Winthrop, one of the bigger teams in the collegiate Valorant scene, and Ball State University. And we won. We won the whole NACE Open Premier bracket, beating Winthrop, which is a very impressive team to beat for sure.
Besides Winthrop, or besides Esports at UCD Gold, they were the only team to really take a singular map in NACE off of UCF.
Yeah, so, I mean, their team's pretty. I mean, they're pretty stacked. They have Infiltrator. He's like a ranked demon. I always see him on the Radiant leaderboards.
Let's see this real quick.
Who else is on that team?
Gucci 07. Previous
funny.
A player. Previous tier 2 player. So they actually have a stacked roster.
Yeah, they have a stacked roster. Moobs is on that team. I don't think he was on the team when they were playing, but yeah, really good team. Last year and this year. So it was really impressive. Really impressive victory for Knights Gold. And then at NECC,
we're legends. We're legends.
Yeah, legend. We're legends. NECC, I don't know if you guys know, but this semester they're starting something. They started something called the Legends Division, which is basically a division for like the best teams to play against each other. I think there's 32 teams. A handful get invited, and then the rest have to apply for it. We were one of the teams that got invited, based off Knights Black's performance last year. And in that division, in our group, we had the Hoosiers, we had Blinn College, we had University of Illinois Chicago, Southern New Hampshire University, Converse Nightblood, Harrisburg, and then Fisher Tea Party. Which is one of the too many teams that are part of Fisher.
Yeah. Here they are. So you gotta see them. My fault. I was trying to find the rosters.
Yeah, you got them there. Yeah. So in NECC went 5-2 in the main season, which qualified us for playoffs, and we ended up placing top 4 in playoffs. Falling just short, but like I said, some really good teams, and their Blinn College is arguably one of the best collegiate teams right now. At least top 3.
It's actually pretty crazy, this like Legends division, and this is just only one half of Legends division. As far as I'm concerned, like this is the east side, like yellow was east side, cyan was west side. Like you were saying, just absolutely stacked rosters. WVU is crazy, especially as we talk about like RBCC and like all the other tournaments that they did.
Right.
They're gonna show up. Like you will see all of these names
again. Hear about them,
very shortly. But Blinn is absolutely crazy. Fisher is crazy. Converse Nightblood is crazy. Like it was definitely a lot.
Valorant's definitely Valorant has like the most, just in general, like the most events and the most like things to participate in, just because of how like big and popular it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for NASA and NECC. And then there's Red Bull Campus Clutch, which is an event that Red Bull hosts where there's multiple qualifiers throughout the world. They do them internationally through like smaller qualifiers and regions, and then they go as far as nations. So for the qualifier one, we placed first place in South Florida, and then that qualified us for the LAN in Tampa, which I was lucky enough to go to and experience their first place victory again against FIU, which was a very fun event. And then I believe it was after that event where there were some internal issues within the team, where they decided to bring the coach in as the new IGL in replacement of Nightmare. So that made the new roster of, instead of the three best from Knights Black, it was the three best from Knights Gold of last year. So the team was Rudy, Jason, Bniper, Scotty, and Squirmer. And then after qualifying from the South Florida qualifier, you move on to the East qualifiers, which was I can't curse, so I'm not gonna curse, but it was a really poorly structured event. I felt really bad for our players in that one, but I think they had to play. It was like 5 best of 3s in one day. Starting as early as 10 in the morning. Yeah. And it was against some tough teams. I know West Virginia was there. I believe Winthrop was or Northwood was in there too. I think
it was Northwood and Fisher were there too.
Fisher, yeah, basically the best East teams, and the East is pretty stacked when it comes to Valorant teams. So, we didn't perform the best in there. We went 2-3. Well, technically 2-2. At the end of the day, for the 5th game, all of the teams are basically just like wiped, just tired of playing from starting like 4 or 5 best of 3s already. Starting at 10 in the morning. So I think most of the teams decided to forfeit their 5th match, and I think either way, depending on like if we forfeited or not, we would have qualified. So they took the forfeit for the last game, and we qualified for nationals, which was a really fun event. I was also lucky enough to go with the team to Skokie, Illinois, which is where it was located, where it was the top 4 from each region. So it was like all the qualifiers from the West qualifier and the East qualifier. So that was a very fun event. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what teams are there now. It was us. There's 8 teams. Do you have it listed? Perfect. All right, yeah. Okay, I'll try and do it right now. There's us, UCF Winthrop, MBU Spartans. There you go. UST, Northwood, SJSU, another club team. I think they were the only other club team there. Fisher, and what am I forgetting? Did I?
West Virginia.
West Virginia? I think I said that. I don't know. The list is there. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, so we came in 5th place, which was really, really good. I mean, super impressive. The boys did amazing. It was another long day. We had to wake up really early. Shout out to Red Bull for hosting that event. It was amazing. The hotel accommodations, the whole event, the food, everything. It was just a really cool event. The pictures as well. The what?
They treat as well. Not a dime from our pockets.
Yeah, exactly. All for free. All paid for. And they also gave us that big crate. I don't know if we have a picture to show you guys, but they gave us a really big crate with our name on it, and we put it in our esports facility, and it looks really cool in there. And that was a lot. There's still there's a lot for Valorant. So and then there's CVAL.
Yeah, there we go.
There's CVAL. The way CVAL works, there's you're basically just placed into a group in your region. Last RBCC Sag. What are you talking about? Is this the last one? It better not be.
Is it really?
No. I hope not. I don't know.
Such a fun event.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's UCF Black. It's Group 6. Like my team.
Oh, you're right.
Wait, really? It's the last one? Damn, that's actually really sad. I didn't know that.
I'm actually devastated by that.
Yeah. Red Bull doesn't make any money off of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's sad. They're paying too much. They're flying out everyone to for free everywhere. Yeah. So
I mean, I'm glad to have experienced it. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not doing it next year as of now. That's sad. Anyway, in CVAL, how it works, you get placed in a group with it's 4 teams in total, or is it 3? 4?
3. Yeah, it's 3. Sorry. 3? Let me check the ranking real quick.
4. There's 4. I think it looks like 4, right?
3 other.
Yeah, it's 4. Yeah, 3 other opponents. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. So in their group, they had a UCF Gold, just Neo Esports, TMU Gray, TMU another team that has like way too many teams,
Yeah, this
and
is
then
their B
University of
team to be
Texas El
fair.
Paso.
The B
Yeah.
or C
So
team.
yeah. So you basically just everyone versus each other. The top in the South, since there's less participants, it's the top two who advanced to the phase two, which is a single elimination bracket. We went undefeated in our bracket, and then went through the whole playoff bracket. Did they not update the bracket?
Oh no, they did. It's just they have the single elimination phase, and then they reset
Oh,
it
and
to
then you
have
go
a
to the
double
next one,
match.
right?
Yeah. So.
So yeah, we made it to the next bracket, and then as you can see, we won all of CVAL. Very nice. We had
Let's
to deal with
go.
an unfortunate forfeit from Blinn in the grand final match. I think they had another tournament to be playing where they made more money than they would have made by playing in this one.
Yeah,
So I
that's
guess that
fair.
makes sense by them. But either
Free
way,
one's a
it's
free one.
a win. We'll take it. Um,
Actually,
did really
did we
well.
beat them at all at ECC?
Blinn? I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't think we beat Blinn.
Dang, I wanted to say by
Did we?
proxy we won.
We'll have, we'll
Wait.
have to we'll have to meet them in CVAL champions next year.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, really good results in CVAL South.
Oh.
I think since we placed first place, that qualifies us for like I was just saying in CVAL champions next year. I think it's the top two from each region get to play each other. I'm not sure if it's like a LAN or like a online event, but it's
It
a
has to be
prestigious
Lance,
event to be
right?
going to. It's a prestigious event to be going to, regardless. So, yeah, very good season from Knights Gold. One of the best, one of our best teams for sure. And then is that all? Let me see. Did I go through all of it for Knights Gold? I think
I
I
think
did.
Knights Gold had a lot going on. I think that's everything though.
For sure. Okay, now it's time for the black team, the B team. Um, so we had a really weird start with our B team. So I think I don't know if I have like the roster reveal where it like shows the original roster. I'm gonna see if I can do it off the top of my head. I think there's
I
the
wish
original
you could make
roster
like
was like,
Twitter folders. You know what I mean? Kind of like how
yeah,
have the Instagram
it might be
stories
in our
thing.
drive. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Trying to think what it would be, but I think the original team was like um Thunderous
Mm-hmm.
was on the team. It was Thunderous, Sinful, Soph, Akali, and who's the last one?
Idilon.
And Bear. No, it was Bear.
Bear. Oh, Bear. Oh.
Yeah,
He was a
Eidolon
sub though, right?
was a sub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Off the top of my head. But yeah, uh, the season started a little weird with them. I think throughout around the middle of the season, the team kind of just like exploded and disbanded, and we had to kind of just make our own like makeshift roster with some players that we found from tryouts. Um, like the earlier tryouts in the season, kind of just made our own team and worked on it from there. I being a part of it. Um, I started like trying to IGL for the team, and it was a really fun experience. We didn't do the best, but we beat some pretty decent teams. Like all things considered, for like the lack of practice and experience, I think we did really good. So in NECC, like these records are going to be a little weird because of course
Yeah.
the one team did some of them, the other team did the other, and like some of them had to be forfeits. So our NECC record was 2-4. In our group, we had Florida Gulf Coast, Embry-Riddle, Cumberland University, Florida Polytech, FIT Crimson, University of North Carolina Niner Esports, and then St. Mary's University. I think with my team, the team that was like the newer B team, I'm pretty sure we went like 2-1 in NECC. I think we lost to FGCU in like a really, really close match. And that didn't qualify us for playoffs because like I said, like the FFs and like the weird start didn't allow us to. And then for the first team, when they did RBCC, they did it for the first qualifier. They had a round of 16 finish, and then the other South Florida qualifier, they had a round of, or they had a top 8 finish.
Mm-hmm.
And then for CVAL for the black team in our group, we went 3-0. I think we only got to play one of the teams because the other two forfeited.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
but the one team we beat was like a really good team. I'm pretty good friends with.
Was it
Some
LG
people on that
Orange?
team, LG Orange. Yeah.
Oh wait,
With
that's like they're actually pretty good. Yeah, they're the UCF
yeah,
roster, right?
they played the A roster or the or gold roster as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a really close game. Like I'm actually super proud of that game. I think everyone like on our team locked in, and we all played the best, or the best that we could. Um, Two Valorant players talking about Valorant. That's what I'm talking about. That's what, we
What?
were gonna be yapping the longest about Valorant. Are you? I guess
Valorant
you are considered a
player?
Valorant player. Are you?
I
Would you be
guess.
considered a Valorant player? I think you
I
would.
haven't. I mean, I guess it's the game I've
Oh
played the
yes,
most in ranked, but
for
I feel like I
sure.
don't follow it competitively as much.
Yeah, but the roster. I didn't say the roster for the B team. But it was Bear, who was originally on the main roster. He was the one who stuck around after everything exploded. We had Flea Market King, my Goat Griffin, I Dylon Dylan, Minasaki, Bear, and then me originally as a sub, and then I stepped in a little later to the main team as the IGL, and yeah, CVAL went pretty well. We beat LG Orange. I think we just like we dropped the first like CVAL playoff match, and that was kind of the end of it. But we had a really good time playing together. It was some of our first times like actually competing as like an actual roster, and yeah, I think that's all we have for Valorant. Finally,
Yeah.
we're done. We're
But
done with
actually,
it.
no, we're not
Uh,
done
we're
because
not.
I have
What did we
questions
not
for
do?
you
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
needed to
We did the
do.
interview. I gotta do that.
Oh my god, I actually have to
I could find it
scroll
in
up
our
now.
DMs. Hold on, yeah.
I found it. Okay. I'll ask
Okay.
the questions. We'll do a little bit of a
I'll just
role reversal
read
here.
the part. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can also ad lib if you want to go off of it, but yeah. Okay.
I think my answers are still final. I'll read through it as I go and see if I still
Okay.
have the same answers. Hold on, I gotta pull it up actually.
So let's do some of the basic ones. What events
Okay,
did your
I'm ready.
teams participate in this semester?
Okay. Valor participated in RBCC,
We
so
just
Red Bull
did talk
Campus
about
Clutch.
it.
Yeah, NACC, NACE, and CVAL.
Yeah. Well, you put it a lot more succinctly there than we did a few minutes ago. But
For
yeah.
sure.
How well did your teams perform this season?
Night School performed very well this season, placing at least top 10 in all of their leagues that they played in. And then Knights Black had a weird season, like I said, due to the early implosion of their roster, but we did decent, all things considered.
Did the performance of your teams meet the standards you placed for yourselves earlier on in the season?
Yes, UCF Gold exceeded expectations, placing top 5 in RBCC and continuing to upset in CVAL. UCF Black did not really have many expectations, but we did pretty well for a new team with no team experience. I was kind of just going off of like the newer team's experience because I didn't really know much about the previous team.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's true. What was the highlight aspect of this season for all the teams you did manage? Could be a fun event, crazy upset, outstanding individual performance.
the highlight of the season, I only did for golds, but I'll like ad lib Knights Blacks as well. The highlight of the season for me and I guess the players as well was traveling to Skokie, Illinois for Red Bull Campus Clutch Nationals. The trip was fully paid for by Red Bull, and the team had a great time. I'd say for Black, at least for me, the highlight was definitely beating LG Orange. I remember like I did a lot of like scouting for CVAL, like looking at the team, seeing who we're up against, and like I was asking the main team and people I knew in collegiate Valorant about LG Orange, you know who are their players, how good are they? A couple of them were like Radiant, so of course like
Scary.
you know that was intimidating to me and a couple other players, but even through that, like I told all my teammates, like you know like. Yeah, this team's pretty good. I don't know how we're gonna do. You know, we shouldn't have high expectations. Just go in there and do your best. I think I did really well. Like especially calling that match as well. Like I got like coaching from our former player Nightmare. He helped me a lot with starting to like call better for the team as an IGL, and also watch a lot of YouTube videos. Shout out Finesse, my goat. Watch a lot of his YouTube videos. Yeah, that was definitely the highlight. It was a really close game, and we played really well, I think.
That's good. That's awesome. Nice.
Mhm.
You did your research for real.
For sure. What you gotta do.
Yeah, true. What are your expectations going into the spring semester, though?
Um, Going to the spring semester, I expect Knights Gold to continue their hot streak and beat teams that they had trouble with this fall. Hopefully, Blinn. I really want them to get their back in blood.
Yeah.
Their payback for Blinn FFing.
Hmm.
For Knights Black, I think we're gonna see what happens. I think we might do tryouts again. See if we can get a more developed more experienced roster going. And if not, we're just gonna take some more time together and practice and see what we can do, and try and develop some more perspective talent for UCF Gold.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Yeah. Who was the standout player that genuinely impressed you this season?
On Knights Gold, I'm close friends with like almost everyone on that team, so I know a lot about them as a player, and as like people as well. But the player I knew the least about was Jason, and he's also the player that impressed me the most. Whether it was because I didn't know a lot about him or just his general gameplay, but like even with all the pressure he had of like filling the shoes of an IGL and just being like the team leader throughout the season, even after having to take Nightmare's place. He continues to like consistently frag and hold the team together at the same time, as the in-game leader. So he really impressed me on the gold team. And then Knights Black, a player that generally impressed me was Flea Market King. He came in late after like the original roster imploded, but he really impressed me. Like he's a really good controller player. He loves Viper. For some interesting reasons.
Oh,
He's a chemistry major. We'll say it's because he's a chemistry major and
oh,
he
okay.
likes that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, that's fair.
but he like only ever plays Viper, but he's just like he plays Viper really well and very reliable player, and he's just a cool guy to be around. But yeah,
Awesome. And who do you think is going to grow as a player
Flea.
very quickly?
Please in the chat. Love you, Flea.
Please.
Who I think is going to grow as a player very quickly. I put Bear. I think Bear is going to grow as a player very quickly. He's definitely like the best player on Knights Black. And with like some more time and like experiences playing as a team, I think he can eventually replace someone on Knights Gold as a main duelist. I know like
Wow.
Buniper's graduating very soon, and I definitely think like with maybe like a semester more of like experience, he definitely can like compete at that level.
Nice. All right. So there were some follow-up questions. These ones are a little bit more unique to Valorant just because I know there was a lot going on, like you said, underneath the hood.
Right.
So I just wanted to know. There were a lot of mid-season changes for both teams. What would you say caused these sudden and constant roster changes?
Both teams had like some weird changes. Both can kind of be accredited to like personality clashes within the teams, I think, without going into like too much detail. But the issues have been solved, and our teams are like working pretty well together. All things considered.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Nice. What was it that allowed the gold team to persevere despite the constant changes to their environment? Especially mentioning the roster thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we like touched on this earlier, but I think since UCF Gold was like or the team is kind of like a mix of like the best players from our gold team last year and the black team last year. They all kind of had like their individual like personalities that like worked well together from playing last year. Beniper, Rudy, and Jason were all part of like UCF Gold last year, and then Squirmer and Scotty both being teammates in UCF Black. So I think I think they were pretty good. They did really good together with the chemistry.
Nice.
Beniper awesome. Boys in the chat, my goat. Hello, Santi.
In chat. Hi, Santi. In the past, the several UCF teams would remain very competitive with each other in terms of performances and placements, often getting some ridicule from both outside and internally. Like, why are you called the academy team if you're doing better than the main team, or if you're the C team, why are you doing better than B team, kind of thing. But with understandable setbacks to the black team, do you think they have a chance to rival the gold team this upcoming spring?
In the past, like since UCF is such like a big school, the sample size of like good players is like really, really big. And unfortunately, like just the way it works, a lot of the good players have like this mindset of like they want to be on the main team, or they just don't want to play at all, which made it hard to like field a solid secondary roster. So because of this, like we kind of had to focus on making our secondary roster like an academy team, instead of more like a competitive, like both of our teams are the best that they can be. So we kind of just focused on fostering an environment for the academy players to potentially join like the main team one day, or like improve to be a point where they have the experience to play on like a competitive roster. I don't think UCF Black will be able to rival UCF Gold next semester. Um, I know, like, I don't know, like we might get some crazy perspective talent in the tryouts in the spring, but even with that, like, there's all sorts of like chemistry and other things you got to consider when you're making a new roster. So, I don't know, given like enough experience and practice, give us a year or two, maybe we'll be at that level, but you never know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's all the questions I had. The Valorant team. I know they had a very specific environment and everything. I wish I could have asked more teams more specific questions, but especially as like an officer, I get a little bit more of like behind the scenes, under the hood stuff. Yeah, the Valorant team definitely had the most interesting environments to see, and seeing them still thrive through that is pretty impressive. So yeah,
For sure, for sure. I'm excited to see how they do next semester.
yeah.
So yeah, enough Valorant yapping. Let's move on to another team we're gonna have to yap a lot about because they have so many leagues that they participate in.
Yeah,
Rainbow
exactly.
Six, Rainbow Six, one of our best teams.
For sure. It's between them and Valorant, honestly. I feel like Valorant just
For
has like
sure.
more
Results wise,
opportunities.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Um,
But yeah, I'm tired of yapping. You can take over for R6.
I'll take over for our six. I'll try to talk as long as possible. There we go. Found our six. Um, so like I said with the promise in chat, if I miss anything, if there's anything extra, you're gonna have to chime in. You're gonna have to chat. I'll mention everything. I'll read it because we spent so much time on Valor and everything. This team definitely deserves just as much love for all the crazy stuff they did in doing. But I'm gonna start off with Nace. Going back over it, I'm gonna move it over to the view so that way you guys can see with me. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that they competed in. I think the thing that demonstrates and makes the R6 team the most different from everyone else is the amount of things that they compete in. They competed in Ace. They besides Valorant, of course, because they had to do like literal physical travel. And R6 will be traveling this spring, early January. But they participated in Ace and ECC, both of which at pretty high level, CEA and CR6. I'm pretty sure the main team played in all four. I think the academy team, they took a little bit of they took Nace off. They were like, no point in participating in Nace, but they still performed incredibly well in both of them. All three played four. Yeah, I'm about to say, he's giving me misinfo because Knights Academy it was not Nace this time around. I don't know what the reason is. If you'd like to give me some insight, I should have asked that in the interview. But yeah, just want to start off just saying like a lot of the people in Open Premiere, especially for this group, we were in the group. Let me see. We were in. To scroll down to R6. I had to put you at the bottom of my cheat sheet because it was just so long. If I put you at the top, I had to scroll down a little bit. But yeah, you guys were in Open Premier East 1 conference. So 1 doesn't really mean much as far as I know, but we had to go up against Mississippi State University, University of Alabama. That's a big school nearby. University of Texas San Antonio, Louisiana State, another one that's kind of close by. Temple University, Ontario Tech, Missouri Valley College, and Northwood University. Definitely one of the bigger hitters. I think it's it's their main team. I thought Northwood had a varsity thing, but I don't think they're a member school with NACE anymore. But still, Northwood is definitely a big team. I know they have a lot of big teams in other schools. I don't know how well they fare off in Rainbow Six, but considering that they're willing to field rosters everywhere, I'm assuming they were a pretty formidable foe and everything.
Yeah, Mahi said it was a waste of time. I think a lot of the I heard like very similar things from all the academy teams that like they didn't want to participate in the open plus leagues. There's really no point since there's no prize pool.
Yeah, and
But
also
it's
like
just like
Nace is
if
not
you
doing
want to
prize
for the
next semester.
experience. Yeah, I think that's really
So
stupid. Or there's got to be some reason for it, but like
yeah,
I don't know, it's just sad that there's not a lot of like.
from my personal research, I've noticed a lot of teams like a lot of varsity member school teams backed out of their memberships recently, going from spring to fall this year. So, a lot of them ended up being on Open Premier, like Northwood, like Winthrop, and now they're just like hanging out with the people who are paying in. And it's a good opportunity for club sports to really show their talent, because it gives them that opportunity to go up against like really talented schools and everything. But it's also kind of worrying. It's like, why doesn't anyone want to be a member school? I'd also say that probably one of the reasons is because there's a little aside from R6 a little bit, but we'll get into it. But with NECC, they were previously free open to play in, but now there was a $500 to $1,000 buy-in, so that could probably be a reason as to why a lot of teams backed out, because they were like, we could probably get decent competition over at NECC. So oh yeah, NECC coming in to take some market space away from NACE, but I will also agree, I'm not very much a fan. I'm not a fan of the NECC website. It's okay if we go on a tangent. This is a stream. I don't care. But I promise we're not skipping over anything. There's no time limit. I'll be here all night. Even if Sam has to go to bed, I'll be here all night. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that the NECC website does good, and then it just fails on the most fundamental parts, especially when it comes to navigation and just speed.
Me trying to change the name of a team on NECC, the website just explodes. I can't even like delete a team. I remember like trying to go through trying to delete a team that someone accidentally made. I think Mahi accidentally made a team and that we were trying to delete. Yeah. Just like couldn't sorry, I almost
you guys are not the only one.
Figure it out.
I was looking through so many schools. Like there were like 8 schools that had 3 different to be deleted later. It was they made it. It was so bad. It was so bad. But everyone had to deal with that. But I mean, I'm hoping that League OS gets a big upgrade going from fall to spring. Because then I feel like genuinely, the thing that I like about NACE the most is that you have, it's a decent website, at least from like the spectator side. I can't speak for title managers and players, but it's pretty simple to access. It's pretty quick. I can get to everywhere I need to get pretty quickly, and all the information is there. But there's a lot of things I like about the League OS website that's just not in NACE. But like the League OS is hardly functional half the time. So yeah. If they fix those issues, honestly, it'll be a really good contender and be like, ooh, okay, maybe I want to use this more. But yeah, unfortunately at the moment it's just kind of like, okay, whatever. So
it looks good and like it seems like it should be intuitive, but it's just like not. Like nothing works. It's just like anything you want to work just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I just remember like one of the first weeks, like when trial, I don't know if it was it was like after tryouts when we were like trying to get everything together with it. Just like I just couldn't figure out anything with the website. Even just trying to like as simple as like changing the color of a team or like renaming something or deleting a team. Like you would think those would be like the easiest things ever.
But they're not. They're like I said, I saw multiple schools struggling with the same thing. So yeah. Honestly though, I will also say that Mahi brought up a decent point that the division based play based off of like skill as opposed to being a member school, because member school has a lot of like, if you're not familiar, to be a member school over at NACE, you have to have certain criteria, one of which normally is just having a paid director at your school and everything, and then obviously you have to pay yearly. So you have that issue of doing that. So and then you have a lot of more internal issues that I'm not going to get into now because we have to cover R6 eventually. But it's just one of those situations where it's like, at least in NECC, once you pay your buy-in, you're playing against people purely based on skill. And you're not really worrying about, can my school provide enough? And obviously, I have a more opinionated take on this because we're a part of a club school. We don't have a paid position that says esports director. So, yeah, of course, I'm a little biased in that sense, but it seems like a lot of the other teams care about participating in Open Premier where the actual good talent is than necessarily being on varsity. And that's all I really have to say about that. But getting back into the groups for NACE. I don't really know what to say here besides gold team sweep. I mean, they lost one time in the regular season to University of Texas San Antonio 2-0. I'm assuming they were just sleeping that day.
It was a
But
fluke.
it was a fluke,
Didn't
literally.
happen.
Like, I'm pretty
I don't
sure they
see
were
it.
just sleeping. They overslept a little bit. They were a little groggy because it was at 9:30 compared to most of the other match times, which were pretty much at like 7, 8. So
And they got their revenge. When I said they got their revenge,
yeah,
that's all that matters.
exactly.
Back in blood challenge.
They got their revenge first thing in playoffs. You could see it right here. Like, immediately lost, get into playoffs, swept 2-0. You're gone. Get out of here. And then they took it all the way home, beating Fisher Bagels. Again, Fisher being one of those big teams that you just don't ignore. I'm pretty sure Bagels is their secondary team or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I had, again, Fisher is one of those colleges with like a crap ton of teams, so I couldn't identify whether or not that was their main team or not. But regardless, they were really talented. They made UCF fight a little bit for that win, but honestly, I'll take a. Let me check my notes real quick. I need to check the exact score. I don't want to say incorrect information. Oh, I had them on top of each other. The overall score in NACE was 7 wins, 1 loss, and then they won. So you only take 1 L, you win it back, you get your revenge, you take it all home. That's kind of huge, especially that's a free $2,500 in their bank accounts. Is that surprising for NACE? So amazing work for them. That was a really fun stream to watch. Unfortunately, it went on. It started way late because they had a Smash stream going on. I guess for like Open Premiere as well, because Open Premiere, Smash, and R6 was on the same day, so it took them forever to actually get into game.
While we're on the pod, I just saw like a tweet. I don't know how credible this like Twitter account is, but they do like collegiate R6 rankings, and I think UCF is number 4 on the list. Which is pretty good. I'll send the link in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Only followed by Fisher Falcons, Akron, and T Ohio State Scarlet.
Interesting. Where are we up on there? You need to get up on
Number
there.
4.
Oh, we're number 4. Let's go. Top four nation. It's guaranteed. So like some of the players in the chat were saying, Columbus. We got to see what happens over at Columbus. It's kind of seeming like a secured bag. So
For sure.
yeah. So going to the next thing is NECC. They are the only other team besides Valorant that was in the Legends division for NECC. They were the only ones in there. Unlike the Valorant one that was divided by East and West, the NECC Legends division for R6 was just one big pot of like all the teams of North America. I'm gonna move over to it real quick just so I can find it. But yeah, they performed incredibly well in this one as well. Unfortunately, not taking the gold like they did in NACE, but honestly, still an amazing record once you look at it. So let's look at the Legends division here. This is the group stage. They went 4-2, but they still had like a really good record. They did really well throughout the semester. I think the only teams they went down against was Texas A&M, which is, again, I'm just convinced that the last week of like groups play or round robin play,
beat Texas A&M right there. So
yeah. Oh wait, did we? Oh, never mind. I read incorrectly. My fault.
OSU and OSU is the number 1 ranked team.
Yeah,
right now, right?
OSU's it's the one that's like
it is
kind of scary for everyone. And then I think the Fisher Falcons, they went 1-2 against, but like 1-2 is still good. I mean, if you're top 4 in the
I
nation,
watched it again. That game was so close. Dude.
Yeah, that was so close.
That game was so
watching
close.
that.
I watched that on the stream.
And shout out to all the players on the main team and the academy team who stream their games. You make my life easier. Because like if I can't show up for a stream, you guys are streaming it for sure. But yeah, that was an honestly unfortunate game. But you guys kept it close, and it's like that's literally first and second in the nation comparison. So Legends Division is definitely one of those competitive things that we don't have to worry about having a director. Like I mentioned before, in Open Premiere, we can only go up against the B team. Here, we already paid our $1,000 dues. We can go up against the best of the best purely based on skill.
And leak that financial information.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's all good.
But yeah, then going off into playoffs, We went up against GCU. We already beat them once, so we went through that. Unfortunately, going down to Ohio State once again, but at least this time we gave them a little bit more of a run for their money. We took a game off them before we went 2-0, and Scarlet took the entire thing. TAMU actually went a little far. I just realized, but that's because Fisher Falcons. I don't know. They DQ'd. They didn't want to. They didn't want to deal with it. I guess. They didn't want to win it. So yeah, that's everything for NECC. Still an amazing thing. Like top four, just like the rankings predicted. Like when you're going up against some of the best in the nation, top four is insane. And we haven't even touched the academy team. So the academy team's also very good. Lots of prospective talent there, but we'll get into that soon. So we're going to be getting into the other two leagues that they're in. They were in Collegiate R6, which is a more community-run collegiate tournament system. Not to say that there aren't a lot of people who aren't putting time and effort into it, but it's definitely more community-run as opposed to organization-run, as far as I know. But I know it's definitely like for students by students kind of thing. So they were part of Premier, going up against teams like Davenport, the Fisher B team, GC Purple, which I think is GC's second team. If not, it's the GC main team, which we already have seen before. SHSU Esports, which let me check my notes just to make sure. What is that? SHSU. I'm trying to find it. Oh no, I'm blanking. Did I write these down? Oh no, that's tier 6. No, this is tier 6. Huh. I didn't write them down. My fault. It's probably because we didn't go up against them. TAMU, Texas A&M University Maroon, Ohio State, the monsters there, North Texas A, and Columbia College. I think for the standings for here, we did. I'm looking at the wrong group. Okay, my fault. I knew there was something off because I was like, these are not the things I wrote down. But yeah, we're up against UGA, University of Georgia, Akron, Fisher Falcons. So the Fisher A team, actually. Kennesaw State, Ohio State Gray, which is the Ohio State B team, North Texas B, which is the North Texas B team, and UAuto Garnet. And then for the standings here, I have to check Group B. We ended top 3, went 5-2, which is pretty good. I mean, the only other team that I think actually took a game off us was Akron and Fisher. So like the two people above us. So I could be wrong about that. I'll have to double check, but like it's still top 3 in your group is insane. And then if we go over to the playoffs, we still did incredibly well here. I'm trying not to spoil the academy run because they were in the same bracket. But where are they? They're all the way down here. So they went up against UC Black, Butler Bulldogs, GCU Purple, Davenport. Davenport's a big one. People don't talk about Davenport enough, but especially in the tactical shooter scene. Yeah, like Davenport's really good in R6. They're really good in CS. So these are some impressive winnings. The only team that they went down against is Ohio State, Mr. Number 1 over here, in finals match. I don't know what happened to this finals match. I guess we'll never know who won that, or unless Mahi knows off the top of his head. But yeah, we have Ohio State, taking us 2-1. Again, UCF doesn't really go down without a fight. So, that's still an impressive winning. Top 4 overall, especially when your opponents are literally Akron, Fisher, Ohio. Like we're consistent top 4. We're still clubs. So that's very impressive showings. Really awesome, run that they made. Absolutely amazing. So yeah. And now we're going to move over to CEA. Collegiate Esports Association. I think that's what it's called, but I don't think it's nearly as official as the other ones. Not to throw shade at it. I actually don't know as much. It is. CR6 is a big boy league. I actually did not know that. Osu swept Akron 3-0. Okay. And Osu's kind of crazy. Ohio State's actually insane. So yeah. That's still very impressive showings and results here. CEA, I'm not too familiar with. I know they have a Valorant and a R6 league, and I know we only participate in the R6 one. So we had in East 2 groups. We had Night Haven, which is our technical C team. They are our community team, which might possibly get a spot now that we're allowing tertiary teams again, but that's TBD as far as I'm concerned. We have North Carolina State University Red, James Madison University, York University, and Virginia Tech Vespa, which I have to say Virginia Tech has a really cool name. Just shout out. It confused me for the longest time, Vespa. Apparently there's an actual reasoning. Like it's a I forgot the reason, but it's an actual like I think it's Virginia Esports Association, Vespa. So yeah, it's actually really cool. But cool name, Virginia Tech. Yeah, they were in our East 2 groups. And I'm trying to see. Oh, I have the standings right there. I'm trolling. My bad. UCF came out 5-0. You can't. There's not much else to say. I mean,
I'm saying the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, the results speak for themselves. Top 4 in the nation for a reason. Like, obviously, the names here aren't as much of a heavy hitter. So honestly, they're looking at UCF here in this group stage and being like, please don't put me up against them, please. So we were kind of the big dogs here, and we definitely showed our dominance. And even having Nighthaven at fifth, 3-2, with an amazing score is just like absolutely crazy. So yeah, they did really well there, and then over in playoffs, trying not to spoil the academy run a little bit, but we went up against Madison Esports, University of Texas San Antonio, Vespa. So some people we met over in a group stage. Went up against Texas Tech, and then once again Davenport we threw one, and that's CEA. That's CEA playoffs 1, 2 out. We'll take 2 out of the 2 out of the 4 that we played in, winning. Honestly, that's kind of like huge, all things considered. And the other 2 were top 4s, so like you can't really be upset about that. Absolutely crazy performance from the side of the R6 team. Absolutely cracked, and I can't wait to see them in Columbus. Try to have your eyes on that, especially if they're on stream and everything. That's going to be a really fun thing. If you're not aware, it's just Columbus, Ohio. There's going to be a CR6 league hosted over there. Sorry, a LAN. There's gonna be a LAN over there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully we could get some content from it. But it was an amazing time when they went last year. You can check out the vlog from that earlier this on our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for sticking around. I know the Twitch has been a little bit more exciting over here, but yeah, honestly, check out the videos, especially the R6 videos. There's been videos for most every team at some point, so definitely check those out if you're there and you're just looking around. You want to get to know some of these players that are just absolutely amazing at the games that they play at. Yeah, I think now we're gonna go over to the academy team. My voice needs a break, so this one's
All right,
I think a little shorter, so you can
take
take it. Yeah.
Let me pull everything up again.
Mm-hmm.
I got lost in the sauce.
At least we don't have to go back to NACE. We're gonna go back to NECC, NECC Champions Division. That's where we were. If you're not familiar with Champions is the rank below Legends. So in NECC, we have Legends, and then we have Champions, the team and Champions. So that's pretty impressive. I don't even think you can have 2 of the same team in Legends. So, I mean, can't do much better than here, right? So.
We only have wait, am I looking at the right thing? Oh, there we go. Wait, is this it? Where's NECC for? Oh wow, there's a lot written down here. Okay, there we go. I was like on like the complete wrong one. Yeah, so for NECC in the Champions League, we were in yellow A group with Florida Polytech, another Florida school, University of Oklahoma Academy, University of North Carolina Niner Esports, Murray State University, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and Loyola University,
Like
Maryland. Something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, for NECC, our record it seems was 5-1. We made playoffs off that, which was very good, and ended up with a top 4 finish, playing against Utica University and Texas Tech University. And then in CR6, did we go over CR6 for Academy yet?
Oh, we did
or
not.
Just remain?
So yeah,
Okay.
we could go over that. Also, another thing that was mentioned in the chat is Bales, one of the players on the A team, won 2 of those finals without a voice.
Oh, the whisper
King.
calls.
The whisper call. He was literally you hear it on his stream like,
there he goes.
The entire match.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then for CR6 season 9 in the Eastern Division, in the league we had Butler University Bulldogs, We had Boston University, Drexel University, Florida Polytech again, FIT, Florida Institute of Technology,
Two Florida
and
teams.
yeah, two Florida teams. Wait,
Best in
yeah,
Florida.
two. Okay, and then University of Georgia Red, and that was their B team. We went 5-2 in that league. In stage 1 of playoffs, we had a round of 32 finish, which is pretty good, playing against Rochester University, or Rochester Institute of Technology. Sorry. And then in CEA, in the East 1 division, against Boston College, Florida Polytech once again, Clemson University, Western University, and Rensselaer Polytech Institutes. In that league, we where is this? Sorry, went 3-2 and had a round of 16 finish. Fuck! Watch my mouth. We had don't find me, Kier. They had a. I closed that thing again. I gotta find it. These buttons are too easy to press.
True.
There we go. Again against Texas. Or is it Texas Tech? Where is it? This is Knights Academy, right? Am I reading the right one? Was that in CEA there? Yeah, CEA.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
against Texas Tech University. Sorry about that. But yeah, that is all 3 of the leagues that the academy team played in. So yeah,
Also,
all of our Rainbow Six teams did incredible this semester.
yeah, absolutely. And also a few words from our title manager. Once again, we did another interview here. Very long-winded, so I'm willing to take the hit here. Mahi had plenty to say, so you can say that.
Sure, I'll be the interviewer.
You'll be the interviewer? Okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
Save our voice a little bit. Let me pull up the DMs again.
If we have any extra questions, he's in the chat.
For sure. What events did your team participate in this semester?
Mike said, apart from the leagues we're entered in, we have participated in any event so far in the season, finding everything out there. Some of the players are working on planning a trip to Columbus to participate in the CR6 land in January. This is yet to be confirmed. We can confirm it right now. They're going. So, yeah.
Yeah. How well did your teams perform this season?
All teams have met my expectations on performance after tryouts concluded. The Knights are consistently top 3 in all major divisions of all 4 leagues we are entered in, which is true. We just checked. We are currently in late playoffs for all leagues at the time of writing, but they are still alive in all 4. This team is without a doubt the best UCF R6 has ever looked in a single season, and the winningest team we have had thus far. Academy hosts many new players, some returning. Their chemistry has built well over the season, and all 7 players have proven great knowledge and skill of the game. They will still finish the season with a positive win-loss record, along with their brothers. Our community roster, Nighthaven UCF, I believe has had the most improvement of all 3 rosters from their respective previous seasons, all finishing with a positive win-loss record and taking down several secondary team rosters at the tertiary, which is something many schools cannot accomplish with a tertiary team. All 3 rosters qualified for Collegiate R6 playoffs, which is something no other university has accomplished to my knowledge. 3 incredibly strong rosters that compete in high divisions with 21 unique players is quite an incredible feat for one school in the Collegiate R6 collegiate community. I'm looking forward to keeping this momentum for the following seasons. Amazing answer, by the way.
Yeah. Did the performances of your teams meet the standards you placed on yourselves earlier this year?
Now, after all that yapping, we got a solid without a doubt, period.
Awesome. The Mahi answer for sure. I like that. What was the highlight aspect of this season for all of the teams you manage?
For the Knights,
it's a fire response. I like that.
Yeah. For the Knights, it's difficult to say given their success. We have formed a bit of a rivalry with UTSA after they took a game from us, but they bounced back twice after that game where it counts. And I think that satisfaction has stuck with them and given them more confidence through the season. They still have championship titles to take, so I don't want to speak too soon on their behalf. But for Academy, the most joy I have seen them have together was meeting in the dungeon for the first time to play a match. Unfortunately, had some complications, but I think each individual enjoyed each other's company, and it's cool to see all the guys you play with right beside you. And for Nighthaven, beating Oklahoma 26, I guess 26 in the nation, is in the first round of CR6 playoffs was by far the best moment for us. Beating a team that a lot of people think you'll lose to is truly a special moment. and it was a good way to finish out the season. Also, I want to say, while we have some players here, I know everyone left after their section went by. We're kind of towards the end. I want to personally say, as an officer, I apologize, even though I shouldn't be. I apologize on the behalf of UCF for having. I need to tone down my words, but like horrible internet for the first few weeks of class. Sure. They were literally the source of all of our internet issues. Obviously, we still have some issues with our dungeon computers and everything, but we're getting that worked out. We have a lot in the works, so I'm sure you guys will be happy to see stuff that we're working on for the spring for fixing that up. But yeah, I'm sorry about the internet issues, especially so early in the semester. That's a UCF thing, and we'll try to talk with IT to see what we can do about it.
Yeah, I've sent multiple emails to UCF IT, and I've gotten absolutely nothing in response, unfortunately. But I don't know. I'll try and be more annoying about it. When I get back to semester, I'll go in person. I'll like come with pitchforks, get, like a player army or something.
All things considered, though, later on in the semester, things seemed a lot more stable. I didn't see anyone have any internet complications. I personally had to fight the computers multiple times to make sure they would stay on the network. Luckily, they haven't had any issues since, so yeah, hopefully we'll keep that up. But yeah, anyway, next question. Then I want to drag it on too long.
What are your expectations going into the spring semester?
I think there are a couple players worth mentioning for this. Mahi says, I had high expectations for Active and Bales moving up to the main roster this season, and both of them have been playing very well and pulling their weight alongside the others. Criminal moving up from our community team into the academy roster was also a great move, as he has been playing very consistent and has been a great morale boost for that team when they needed it. True. Criminal is a hype man when you need it. Sure. He isn't a player that gives up, and that's a quality I find very important in collegiate esports. For the Nighthaven roster, Captain Pigeon has by far been my greatest surprise for an individual player. I didn't think much of him during tryouts, but he has shown up far beyond my expectations with his knowledge of the game and his gun skill. The fact that he's young gives me a lot of hope for the future of UCF R6. Ooh.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that there's talent to bring up. That's something we've always tried to like. That's something I always wanted to like implement a little more into like our. Even when we have rosters like last year with Valorant, where like the two were like the best, like they could go head to head together. When we even do have those, it's always good to have like maybe even a tertiary team or a secondary team, where like players that have a lot of potential can train and like get to the level without having to like sacrifice a spot on the team for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good.
Yeah. The next question.
Yeah.
Did I do the player that genuinely impressed you yet?
No, I think that's the last one. I keep forgetting to move over to the.
Who do you think is a player who's gonna grow very quickly, or who do you think is gonna grow very quickly as a player?
Yeah. So who I think is gonna grow as a player very quickly is I lost it. I'm not gonna lie. Let me find his DM. Wait, okay, I know who it was though. Captain Pigeon, without a doubt, has the most potential for improvement and has the drive to succeed in the game. He's a respectful and extremely consistent player that I think will work well with future rosters. Maui is also a young player with a lot of leadership potential, and I think his experience in competitive play with the Knights roster is appropriately fostering his skills. Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, my personal question, if Mahi's still in the chat, if you're in there, how in the hell do you keep up with 4 different tournaments? Because I know the players got to be a little burnt out, at least a little bit. Like I gotta know, how do y'all keep up with that? And this goes for all the players. I need to know. Is it caffeine? Is it just like raw adrenaline? I need to know. Passion, true. Passion. Yeah, true. But it's on the record now. It's passion. That's how you get through it. That's how you end up being the top 4 in the nation. So, yeah, passion. Coach for A and C team, B team support player of the year. True.
It's a W.
Yeah, big wins from you guys. Honestly, you guys did amazing. Thank you so much.
For sure.
You guys are crazy. So, yeah, absolutely insane. But yeah.
For sure.
So okay, I think that's everything for our 6.
Those are the longest winded ones. These next 2 should be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But yeah, next up We have Overwatch 2 actually. Sorry.
Someone ping the
Um,
Overwatch players. They love
King
being
the Overwatch
mentioned.
players, get them in here.
Also, a new YouTube video about their LAN, the the comms check uploaded on the YouTube channel. Check that out. Uh, Specifically for the Overwatch players. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I'm actively going over to the Overwatch server just to say, going over results live on stream. Yeah, there we go. I personally love the Overwatch
We'll give
guys.
them a second to
Sorry.
get in here.
Yeah, we'll give it a second. But yeah, honestly, I love the Overwatch guys. I'm sorry, they're funny, and I like hanging out with them. So I want to be able to give the opportunity to get in there. I didn't ping anyone though. I don't want to be annoying, but yeah, hopefully they see something.
For sure. Let me see if I can find.
Okay, that's it. I DM'd one person. That's it.
Okay,
You want to start?
we're ready. I'll start us out. You've been talking a lot. I feel bad. Yeah. Something very exciting before we even start off with Overwatch 2 was the opportunity for them to go to Georgia to compete in a LAN that was all hosted by it was like the Southeastern ROTC program along with Playfly Esports. They had a really cool LAN at Georgia State University, and it was really cool getting that together with them. The whole team went and had a crazy grand final matchup. I don't want to go into like description how crazy it was, but it was like one of those like last second thing. They fell off the point and like captured it, and it was like, it was one of those crazy like last
Honestly,
second
so
plays that were just
tragic.
heartbreaking.
It was
But
so
it
sad.
was it was a crazy experience. Watching it live too is
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, I need to
But
change the logo. My fault.
that's all good. But yeah, that was a really not only like fun to watch, but like really cool experience for them as well. Just being able to go to a LAN so early in the semester. But yeah, for like the main season, of course, like most of our teams compete in NACE. The main team, part of Open Premiered East 4 Conference. The teams in that would be Converse University, University of Toronto Varsity Blue, FAU. Again, there's a lot of FAU on this list.
That's what I was
Western
saying. We
University
go up against it a
Wyverns,
lot.
Grand Valley State University, Stephen F. Austin Overwatch Purple, and that was it for their division there. Let me pull up their record. For Overwatch 2, they went 4-2-1. What is the one? Is that like a tie? Do they have ties in that league?
No,
There's
I think
one
it's just
B.
like a buy.
Oh,
That's a
bye.
buy.
It's a buy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't specify buy in the other ones because I was like,
Yeah, they qualified for playoffs via LCQ and were round of 16 in the playoffs. For
ASU kind of smacked them a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. They did good though. They did good, all things considered. Just as ASU, I don't know how good they are in Overwatch, but I think they're a little good. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but they still did a lot of good getting to playoffs, all things considered.
For sure. And then there's Overwatch. I think there's Overwatch Homecoming. Is what this stands for.
Yes.
OWCCHC.
The Overwatch Collegiate Cup Homecoming. A very long.
Okay, that's a long title.
Real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, in the switch stage for that, we had Northeastern University, Harrisburg University, Crimson Gaming, Esports at Iowa, Oddly Omnic Gold, that's their name, Loyola Marymount University, Art University Onyx, some interesting university names.
Yeah.
University of California Riverside Highlanders, UW Stevens Point, West Virginia University Club, and University of Arizona Esports. And in the homecoming, they went 6-4 and did not make playoffs.
A little tragic,
earlier,
actually. A little tragic story about that. The reason they did not qualify is because they had to FF 2 of the matches because the LAN was happening the same weekend.
That's whatever.
Yeah,
the LAN was a better experience. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what they all concluded. But they were a little sad that it had to happen. But yeah,
that's all right. But like I said, with that LAN, the Playfy ROTC LAN, it was 2 wins, 1 loss, and placed second out of 8 or 7. Second out of 7, sorry. And then what else is there? Did I miss something? Did I miss another league, or is that it? Seems like that's it. And for Knights Academy, We had in NACE, we went 3-4 in their division. They had Tufts University, Toronto Metropolitan University, Nichols Stage University, or Nichols State University,
Yeah.
Colonel Esports, Overwatch, the College of New Jersey Lions. I've like never heard of like so many of these colleges. It's really funny. University of Toronto, Boston University White, and Miami-Dade College Sharks.
Yeah.
Um,
No other Florida team, we beat them. That's all that
yeah,
matters.
that's all that matters actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, smacked my mic. And
Honestly.
then homecoming, we're at 5-5 and did not make playoffs.
Yeah.
In their division, there was let me see, they had California State University, St. Louis University, University of Toronto, University at Buffalo, University of South Carolina Trojans, Western University, Illinois University, Carnegie Mellon, Kutztown, and North Virginia University.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the funniest title on here is they went up against Carnegie Mellon University Cat Girls.
Oh, Cat Girls, I didn't even see
Yeah.
that.
um, it was a funny name, honestly. I don't really know how to react to them. I like how some of them have fun with the names, especially in the collegiate
Yeah,
side.
for sure.
People don't take themselves too seriously. So yeah, they honestly played really well. I especially for the Knights Academy, I definitely want to commend them for like their want to improve and succeed. Big shout out to Cobalt, the coach for the B team. They did a lot of work in terms of like VOD reviewing and stuff. I think out of all the other teams, they were that I saw at least. Well, I just so you know, I'm a dungeon lurker. I basically sit in there all day, whether it's for homework or whatever else. Most of the time, working on stuff for this club. But yeah, they're always the ones booking out the place to do VOD reviews, and I'd love to see more teams do it. But yeah, they love sitting in there. They like just hanging out in there, doing their VOD reviews, talking about each other, having a good time, and that's what I like to see because like I know we definitely could be improving the space a little bit more for it, so that way people can be more comfortable performing for the big matches over in person and everything. But it's really heartwarming knowing that there are people who still like go in there, seeing each other, having a good time, and still improving their game and everything. I love to see more of that. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, that's all we have for Overwatch. Great season from them, of course.
mhm,
And then League of Legends, last but certainly not least,
mhm.
competed in NECC for their East B group. Our main team had University of Ottawa Garnet, Rutgers Scarlet, University of Massachusetts Amherst Division Two B team, Queen's University, University of North Carolina Niner Esports, and Conestoga College Condors. That's
Yeah.
a little alliteration there. And then the main team went 1-5. Not the best record, but it's all
Yeah.
right as long as they're getting the
The reps in.
experience, the
Yeah.
reps, and exactly will come back better next semester.
Yeah.
And they did not make playoffs. Knights Academy, they were in Central B group. They had Ohio State University, University of Toronto, Mississauga, I don't
Mississauga,
know.
I think it's something like that.
Mississauga, that sounds
Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Grand Canyon University, Purdue University, Illinois Wesleyan, Montclair, and Carleton University. I closed the thing again, but I think it said they went 1-5. Let me, hold on, let me
Oh, I opened the wrong division. No, people are gonna see the wrong thing here. Oh, it's
me and you
over.
both, man. A long night.
Yeah, it's been a long
A
night.
long night at yapping.
Yeah.
There it is, opening. Okay. They went 2-4, a little bit better than the main team, but they also did not make playoffs.
Mhm.
Not the best season from them, but they will definitely come back better next semester with some more reps under their belt. Maybe have some. I don't know if they're doing tryouts again next semester, but I do think that we had an interview with what did you do it with Cyclic or
Yeah,
Scott?
cyclic. Yeah, I mean, I
Cyclic.
get
Okay.
stuff. But I want
We'll
to say
pull
before
that
we
up.
go into that despite everything, they still played like they still did a lot of work to play, because one of the big issues before we had locked making sure we were getting into NECC is that Nace had pulled out of doing a League of Legends season for fall, and then obviously C-Law is now permanently in the spring. The only thing that they had in terms of C-Law was like a warm-up thing, which was only really giving out RP in terms of pricing. So a lot of the players weren't really too motivated to do that. So they were a little worried going into this that they wouldn't be getting any practice, and a lot of this opportunity kind of came up last second for them because we were still on the fence about getting the NECC membership. So I'm glad they were actually able to compete this season, this semester, because otherwise they would have just been stuck scrimming, not without much purpose. Just because that the collegiate side of League of Legends was just a little shafted this semester, in terms of just like not much to compete in. But they went up against a lot of good teams that definitely gave them a lot of trouble. But they're gonna take this opportunity and take it into CLOL to improve and be able to come back a little bit stronger than they were before. Because they've been doing a lot of work. I know a lot of the guys over there. They're doing God's work, trying to improve and everything. I don't want to do any ranking, but they're also another team that puts a lot of time in person, especially when it comes to scrimming and running strats and everything. They do a really good job of that, and they're constantly about improving. So Champions is still a pretty high place to be at, so it probably took them a little bit of shock, a little bit of rust, because they started later than every other team in terms of their competition. But I'm glad that they were able to compete in something. From what I heard, I may be wrong, but Nace is going to be coming back with League of Legends in the spring. C-Law is going to be coming back, and NECC isn't going anywhere, so they're going to be competing in 3 different things. They're not going to have that weekly rust. They're going to be playing at least 3 matches a week, or at least 2 matches a week, and then CLO whenever that pops up. So they're gonna have a lot of opportunity. They're gonna cause a little bit more havoc next semester. I definitely believe in them. I'm just happy they're able to play and they're here. So yeah.
I mean, that's the last team we have updates for. We went through all, I think, 8 or 9 of our titles. So it's been a long yapping session, just reaching around 2 hours. This is something that we're hoping to make a tradition, at the start of every semester and at the end of every semester, kind of doing like a quick little update on how our teams are doing. Like at the start of the semester, we'll kind of like do a little highlight of who's on our new rosters, who made it through tryouts, and then at the end of the semesters, we'll go over everyone's records. Maybe we'll even do like a mid-semester thing where we'll see how everyone's doing. As long as we have like the information from our title managers and see where each team is winning and losing and all the information for that. Maybe we'll even integrate some like actual real like live in-person interviews. Have like the title managers come in and like actually have a little interview in the middle of it. I hope you guys like enjoyed this little segment.
Don't forget about the interview. Speaking of which,
the interview, the League of Legends interview. We'll do that real quick, and then we'll end it off. Okay. Do you want to be? Yeah.
I mean, I still have some questions for you, but
for me,
not from the Valorant side. Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that after that in the center.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what events did your team participate in, Mr. Cyclic?
This semester, our teams participated in the NECC League of Legends Fall Tournament.
Awesome. Let me pull up the rest. How well did your teams perform this season?
The season presented us with some unique challenges, along with almost completely new Knights and Knights Academy rosters, which is what I was talking about. They're grinding. They're having to build up from scratch. And while the match results themselves were not as great as we may have hoped, our rosters have both improved drastically over the season, and we are ready to take on CLOL in the upcoming spring split.
Awesome. It's good. It's good to say that. I like that. Did the performances of your teams meet the standards you placed for yourselves earlier on in the season?
Our main goal was this split was to mesh as a team and work on our coordination for our brand new rosters, focusing entirely on like improvement and our personal improvement regardless of results. And we're confident that our players have all improved throughout the course of this semester, and we're ready to face the new challenges waiting for them in the spring.
Awesome. What was a highlight aspect of this season for all the teams you manage?
A highlight of the semester for our teams was the League of Legends Pictionary event hosted by UCF. We had a blast creating some fun content and memorable moments along with the rest of the organization and look forward to participating in similar fun events in the future. Also, speaking of which, shout out. I've been shouting out the YouTube a little bit, a bit. But that is another video. If you want to see a little bit of the League of Legends personality and the players and everything, like I said, definitely check out our YouTube videos where we put them in fun situations. They had a blast with the Pictionary event. We got that uploaded. There's going to be a long-awaited R6 video coming in the works early January, late December. So that's what we're shooting for. But definitely check those out. Check that one out because they wanted you to. So they took the time to do it as content coordinator. I'm happy that they enjoyed it a lot. So yeah.
What are your expectations going into the spring semester?
We have high expectations for our teams, and our main focus will be continuing to improve our effective communication, discipline, and gameplay as a unit.
Who was a standout player that genuinely impressed you this season?
I believe Mechanical Angel / Hijack Life on the main roster had a very impressive season, capitalizing on his uniquely aggressive and flashy style of ADC gameplay, going for plays as soon as he sees the smallest opportunity, which is really cool. I'm glad to know that we have like some cool ADC players because I'd rather than a boring one.
I always like that about League of Legends. There's like different way to play each role, or like or even like each age, or I almost said agent, like Valorant, each champion. Like there's different builds you can do, so like there's it's not just like a one-dimensional like type of thing. This is like so many different things you can do with each position and each champion. Who do you think is going to grow as a player very quickly?
So all of our players are growing very rapidly, but if I had to choose, I would say that Hyper Dragon on the Academy roster is growing very quickly as a player and has improved massively since the start of the semester in both champion pool and gameplay. I'm very excited to see where he goes over the course of the spring semester, and I know he, along with all of our players, will continue to grow.
Awesome. That's it for the League of Legends interview. You said you had one more interview for me, and then we can end it off.
Yeah. But before we get into that, I just want to say to everyone who's watched this long, thank you all for sitting by and watching, even if you just came by for your section of the games you're interested in. Like Sam was saying, we want to do this a little bit more often, hopefully doing something similar to this because, it's a 2-hour stream. It's not so much of our time as opposed to like trying to edit it, everything. It's also a little fun event that people can, tune into, talk about it with their friends, really see the fruits of their labor get represented here with everything. So we're just really happy to be able to host this and do this and talk about it for a while because I know from my personal experience, it's a lot of work to go through and scab for every single possible result that everyone has done, especially the teams that have done a lot of things throughout the semester. I'd update them in the Discord server, but then I got a little burnt out. I was like, well, I'm just gonna do this, and it'll be enough. But yeah, so thank you so much, and please if you like what we're doing and if you want to support what we're doing, or just make sure that we do it for a little bit more, I definitely recommend trying to help us in any way you can, whether that's showing up to our events, participating with our content or our social media posts. That means a lot to us. Subbing on Twitch if you'd like. I don't know if we have donations set up currently, but even if we do donations for like for charity events, showing up to stuff like that, and just watching our teams whenever we do streams or anything like that, all of that kind of stuff is how you can help us, and we really appreciate that. So definitely like follow, like, subscribe, everything like that. But thank you so much for coming by and seeing everything. We hope you stick around, and thank you so much for everything that you guys do by watching these things, making our time worth it. So yeah, that's my spiel with that.
I agree with everything that Kier said. Very good Kier.
Yeah. So I have a few questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
As Mr. President of Esports at UCF, and seeing all the results that we've done from both the competitive side of things and from other aspects of the club, how do you feel about the semester?
Honestly, I think this semester competitively went really well. I know like there's a lot of like turmoil, like inner turmoil within like the staff side of club and trying to get everything together, which was a little rough for I know everyone involved. But we've been pushing through it. But I'm really happy to see that none of that really like leaked into how our players are performing. They're all like as passionate as ever. grinding as much as I can, winning, even if like us as a club can't really provide the most like that like a college backed program could do. I do like really appreciate, and I'm like super proud of all the players who, show up every day, scrim, like even when there's not much to like play for, they just play out of the passion and like love for the game. I think this semester went really well competitively. Like I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's definitely something that, like you said, shows up in the competitive side of things. I think that's doing really good. But
Mhm.
speaking a little bit on the other aspect of things, because we talked about the competitive, how do you feel the club has done to engage its community and, do well to create an environment that people want to participate in or at least observe, what our players are doing and everything?
I think it's done pretty well. I mean, like at least I try to compare everything to like
Hmm.
last year. I mean, last year was I joined the club very recently, which is
Hmm.
kind of weird seeing that I'm like the president. But
Hmm.
like I joined the club I think September of last year. Um, so I've only been here for like about a year and a handful of months.
Hmm.
Everything I base off of is just like what I've experienced from last year, and I think you as like the content creators have doing like an amazing sorry content coordinator I said creator as a content coordinator has been doing like an amazing job at making sure everyone that wants to get streamed is getting streamed, even
Hmm.
if like even if it means like having to borrow someone's account to stream COD or contact 9 different people to find out when a game is being played or
Hmm.
how like how hard it is to schedule any sort of collegiate esports game.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think on the streaming side of things, it's been really good. Events this semester a little lackluster compared to last semester. We had like the banger EG watch party. We did a really good job with. A
Geek
lot of
Night was
people
really
showed
good.
up.
A lot of people like
Geek
Geek
Night,
Night too.
exactly. A lot of people like Geek Night. That's always been a banger event. Student series went pretty decently. Could have been better. We're gonna try and improve it next semester. Um, I want to see a lot more watch parties next semester as well, even if
Hmm.
it's like, we had the EG sponsor for that watch party, but even if we don't
Hmm.
even have a sponsor, I think it's really cool to just like even just have like a group of 10 people for like a Call of Duty match or, one of the lesser popular communities come out and like have them just show up and watch their game on a laptop even.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's really cool to have like a small community for that. Um, and then just general like online events, I feel like we could do a lot more too with we
Hmm.
just recently did like a Lethal Company one. I want to do a finals one. That'd be cool. Just like
That
have like
would
a
be
little
cool.
LFG thing for the finals.
Hmm.
Even I don't know how it works in the finals, like if you can have like a custom game, but whenever they do
Hmm.
put that out, I think it'd be really cool to just have like four UCF
Yeah, that would
like
be
an
cool.
all UCF tournament. I think that'd be awesome.
Hmm.
And just for fun game modes, just or for fun games like Among Us, it's always fun.
Hmm.
Um, and then Twitter, always banger stuff on Twitter. And all our socials as well. Our social media team does a great job. Hopefully within our next semester we have a lot of good stuff planned, whether it comes to like marketing stuff with photography. Yeah, the finals will be hard. I play the finals with Flea Market King all the time. We gotta play again sometime, Flea. You
Yeah.
gotta hit me up. Um
Hmm.
we have a lot planned. We have like a player photo shoot we need to do, get some cool content with that. Like I said, some more watch parties. I like to have some watch parties for like when one of our teams gets to like play in a bigger tournament that's streamed. We can like have an actual watch party for UCF teams. I'm kind of rambling,
Hmm.
but yeah,
That's
I'm
fun.
excited for what we can do next semester.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I was gonna actually gonna ask that a little bit more in depth. Like, what big plans do you say as like the president do you have for the spring semester on the competitive side of things? Tell the players what they want to hear, tell the staff what they want to hear, tell the general community what they'd like to hear. What are your plans when it comes to going to spring semester, improving things, and making things more interesting?
Um, so there's obviously it's just keeping the ball rolling from this
Hmm.
semester. There's like a lot of traditions to keep up with esports at UCF. Like Geek Night happens every semester.
Hmm.
We always start the semester off with a bang with that. Starting tryouts, of course, to fill some spots that are needed on all the teams. Um, Goals, I kind of want to engage the general community of UCF a little bit more, possibly bringing back Night Squad, having like an opportunity for like general members of the club to come in on one of the days and use the dungeon. I think that'd be really cool. Just have like a little night for like a community night to do like 10 mans in person in the dungeon would be really cool. Um, I kind of want to make some new merch. That's something that I haven't started on that I should probably start on. Maybe make like some smaller things like some water bottles. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, doing the banquet as well. That's a really fun event. In April, we'd have all the players and staff. Just have a little fancy little banquet with catered food and nice awards. It was really fun last semester.
Yeah.
I just want to leave the club in like a better spot than it was than when I came in, and I think that's just my main goal for this next semester.
All right. Now the last question I have to be the one that wraps up tonight. What's something you would tell to a prospective, general member, staff member, or player? What would you tell them about your position, and what would you tell them about like possibly picking up a leadership position? How has it benefited you, or what's your general personal experience with that, and what would you tell them to get them, kind of more involved, whether it's through staff or just being a part of events, or even potentially looking into a leadership position like what you were in?
Yeah. Okay. I have a lot to say, but okay, I don't have a lot to say because I want to keep it positive. I have a lot of negative things that I could say, but I'll try and keep it positive. Being in a leadership position in like any like college club is always going to come with a lot of adversities. You're having to deal with like a lot of college students, which aren't like the best demographic to have to deal with as a leader.
Yeah.
But it gives you a lot of like soft skills that you would probably need for an actual business. It gives you an opportunity to mess up in a leadership position at this rate, because it's like, like you'd rather mess up as like a club president than you would as like a
CEO.
a worker for a business or a CEO. Yeah, there's not a lot of like damage, or there is damage, but like it's not as important per se. But
no one's going to debt. No one's
yeah. As for if you want to become like a leader or looking at a leadership position, it takes up a lot of time depending on the amount of passion you have for it. If you don't have passion for it, I'd probably look away from it, because a lot of people are relying on you or on like your passion, if that makes sense. Like your passion kind of delegates how like your department's gonna do. For example, like if you're like if you're like the leader for the event team, if you're not as passionate, there's like going to be less events, and it's going to be like less community engagement. And I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive, but like
it's a lot of responsibility,
Yeah, but
with great
at the end of the day,
responsibility.
at the end of the day, I try to look more at like the positive things that's come from this position, and I want to say the positive like outweighs the negative for sure. Like joining the club kind of changed my life, and like with all the friends that I met at UCF, and like the staff, the players, the general community members, the friends, like it's been an awesome experience. Yeah, I had a good time with it.
Yeah,
I'm excited for next semester.
I'm glad. Yeah. I feel bad because like I wanted to know like specifically like how would you say someone who doesn't have like a leadership or a staff position, or even is just a player but interested in helping out, where would you say they should start? I guess this is a mini
I don't know, whenever
question,
anyone's
like super
whenever anyone's kind of like interested in the club, I kind of just give them a rundown on how we kind of function, like with our 4 departments, and kind of see what they're interested in. We have like the event team that deals with online and in-person events, and then we have or just for example, like you'd help out, or setting up stuff for a watch party, or for online events, you would kind of help set up the tournaments, kind of be like a makeshift tournament administrator. And then there's the content team here. Like, I mean, you could probably explain better than I can, but it's more like, you can help with streams, you can help with video editing, short form, long form content, it's all that kind of stuff. And then you have the managerial side. You need a manager for each one of your titles. and you're kind of just managing the team, helping them set up scrims, helping them, you know, organize, make sure they're in all the leagues they need to be in. You're kind of like the point of contact for player conflicts, that kind of thing. And then you have marketing, which is like one of the bigger ones. You know, there's graphic design, social media, photography, that kind of thing. So I mean, like I usually would just tell someone all of that, and then if something will usually stick out to them, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to get into like managerial," and then I'd ask like, "Oh, what team?" Yeah, there's a lot of aspects to the club that you can kind of just suit yourself in. Like even if I mean like I really when I was first like applying to be a part of staff, I wasn't like nothing really like stuck out to me, so I kind of just like chose event because it seemed like, you know, the most general one, and that's kind of how I started. I just joined event, and then it kind of helped out with everything that I wanted to help out with. And then it kind of led me to this position, unfortunately. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, just getting your foot in the door, and then just seeing if you like it is the best best advice I could give.
For sure, yeah. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to get involved, definitely just be a part of the community, be a member, chat where you need to chat, check stuff out where you need to check stuff out, and just become more involved through staff in any way you can, because you never know where you're gonna end up. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna be cutting it out now. I need a lot of breaks, a lot of different types.
Need a
of
cool
breaks.
glass of water.
Yeah, a cool glass of water. I'm going to Hall Mat tomorrow, so I need sleep. So yeah, that's everything for me. Any closing remarks, Sam? Any shout outs? Anything like that?
I don't know. Shout out to all the players. Shout out to all the staff. It's been a fun semester, and I'm excited for the next one.
Nice. All right. Well, I've been here. See ya.
I have been Sam. Bye bye.
Can't tell if you're dreaming now